two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to PNC Arena July 27th and 28th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Gray Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Capital Broadcasting Company and NC Beautiful award thousands of azaleas to nonprofit organizations throughout the state. If your organization would like free azaleas, visit us online at wral-gardens.com. Go to the Azalea Celebration tab and fill out an application form by August 31st. Let's keep our state looking clean and beautiful.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's sea to shining sea, and water damage as far as the eye can see.
It's America.
It's freshly mowed grass and a fence that was freshly vandalized by a pack of unruly teens.
It's America.
It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Anthony Baglione, watching the chance for a few isolated showers and storms as we head into this afternoon and evening. Not a lot of coverage, but it may pick up a bit as we head into overnight tonight. Temperatures today going to top out in the upper 80s with a mix of sun and clouds.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones currently down 381 points at 40,283.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Friday. Going to have some fun here on The Drive. I'm Tim Donnelly. Graham Hill producing the show, just like he has the past couple days for us. And sometimes there's comfort in numbers, right? Comfort in recognizing other people have gone through what you're going through. This is why when people share their stories and their trauma, they often say, so someone else feels like they're not alone if they're going through something similar. That is the most dramatic way to possibly get into what we're going to talk about next. The Dave Canales optimism idea, the new coach of the Panthers. I'm actually kind of comforted that it seems like every step along his career, everyone that's interacted with him, everyone that's played with him, everyone that's coached with him has had the same experience with Dave Canales that I'm having and that we've had as a collective, as Panther fans. There's that initial shock of optimism where you're not sure if that's the real him or if that's the act you're putting on. Right? It's you're not sure. Like it's when you start dating someone and they're like, oh, let's, this is obviously a hypothetical example, but it's like, oh, yeah, no, I take out the trash. I clean everything all the time. And then the longer and longer you might be dating them, the more it's like, actually, I don't do that. I was just trying to impress you at the beginning. Actually, I'm kind of a slob. Maybe they don't say that, but their actions show it. So Dave Canales took over the Panthers, and it was optimism. This is great. I'm ready to play football right now. And I was going, is this like the beginning thing where you're just trying to show me something? Well, we hadn't had an answer until we heard from Baker Mayfield yesterday, where he called Dave Canales. And Baker Mayfield spent a year with Dave Canales. He called him an optimist bully, right? That he forced optimism all the time, and it's just who he was. And then I saw Russell Okung. This is the next step. Russell Okung was a first-round draft pick out of, I believe, Boise State for the Broncos. Ended up finishing his career with the Seahawks, or at least playing part of his career with the Seahawks. And Russell Okung tweeted this out yesterday, and I was fascinated. I'm going to read you the whole thing. It's 2 paragraphs long. Just, I think you'll get why. This is from Russell Okung. When I played with the Seahawks, there was a coach whose optimism was painful. Always writing notes. Knew Pete Carroll's culture like the back of his hand. Even set up practice dummies perfectly on the field. Rarely saw him have a bad day. Turns out relentless positivity is a superpower. My teammates ridiculed him as a company man for meticulously straightening practice dummies. This coach knew every detail mattered to Pete Carroll. While others kicked dummies in jest, he aligned them perfectly. He saw the connection between small actions and overall culture. An older vet defended him. He's not a company man. He just understands how things work. Lesson: it's not about blind loyalty. It's about understanding the bigger picture. Those small things would create a future for him. Funny, he's now the head coach of an NFL team.
So that optimism really trickles all the way down to the little stuff that you see in NFL teams, all the way down to setting up the practice dummies.
It goes from like,
he's happy about that,
like try hard, hardo, to, oh, that's just who he is. Dave
Canales gives off the vibes that he's actually like hyping up the practice dummies. He's like, hey, you're going to go out there, you're going to take some big hits, but you're going to get right back up. Because it's part of your nature.
This is actually kind of funny because my uncle lived in Raleigh here for a long time and actually just moved away. But we talk about as a family how he's like the best person in the world to play golf with. Because you might hit 12 bad shots, but when you connect on one, he's like, whoa, giving you fist bumps, right? Best shot of the day. That's a pro golf. Like, he's just an optimistic person. And because I've known him as long as I've been alive, I know that's just who he is, right? But there's probably some, like, he gets paired up with a random in the golf world. There might be a moment where it's like, I just had 10 bad shots. I hit one good shot. He celebrated like it's the Super Bowl. Is he making fun of me? And then by the end of the round, you recognize, no, he's just that jacked up that you hit a great shot. Dave Canales is that dude. Dave Canales shows up every day excited to set up the practice dummies. And if you're a player, your antennas do go off, right? Just like Russell Okung said all of the Seahawks did, right? Oh, he's just a suck-up. Oh, he knows Pete Carroll is an energy guy, and he's just trying to brown nose. He's trying to be the teacher's pet. And then as on, and the veterans recognized it first, and they defended him, and as it goes on, you recognize that's just who he is. I am pleased that the stories they're telling, right? The optimist bully. The definition of an optimist bully is what Baker Mayfield called him. Russell Okung said his optimism was painful, called it relentless positivity. There's comfort in knowing that the stage we are right now, where you're watching someone take over a hard job. Running an NFL team is a hard job. Managing the egos on an NFL team, calling the plays for an NFL offense, rebuilding an NFL team from being the worst team in the league last year. These are hard jobs. You don't want someone to be putting on any kind of a front that's going to collapse when the tough gets the toughest. You want somebody that is relentlessly positive. You want somebody that sees the joy in setting up practice dummies.
So I guess I got to call my baby ugly because I kind of joked around yesterday, how far does the optimism really go if the Carolina Panthers start off 0-6? Well, it sounds like, as you mentioned yesterday, Dave Canales is going to really take it to heart as, guys, we got the 7th game.
Well, exactly. And it's exactly what you said. That questioning, I'm glad everyone else did it also, right? I'm glad because sometimes you think something and you're sitting back going like, am I the only one wondering this? Right? Am I the only one that sees what's going on here? Am I the only one concerned? No. The thing is, in Seattle, players were looking at this guy's optimism and going, I don't know. Maybe he's too much of a company man. In Tampa, right? Because we've heard from Russell Okung in Seattle. In Tampa, Baker Mayfield's going, man, this guy was an optimist bully, right? He forced it on us. Now in Carolina, I feel like the fan base, some of the players are probably going through the same thing where they're like, what is up with this dude? And every day we get more and more confirmation that's like, no, I've been there.
It gives me comfort knowing that the first time David Tepper bangs down his door upset about something, hey, Dave, Big David, come on, Tep.
Big David.
Let's calm down. All right, let's go for a walk. All right?
It's going to be.
Let's go sit in the stadium. Let's go look at the skyline.
We've had a rough month, right? Hey, some injuries are really biting us in the tail. But guess what? We have the opportunity to build off of all of those mistakes we learned and get better. Like, he is that guy, which, by the way, I'm not sure is the best hang in the world. Like, if you're drafting people to, like, go on a bachelor party with, or you're like, hey, we got one night in town, let's get the crew together, I'm not sure you want the person who every time you complain is going to try to spin it into a positive. Every time you're like, man, my flight was delayed 8 hours today because some IT glitch. You don't want somebody answering with like, yeah, but those 8 hours gave you so much me time to reflect on where you are in life and how lucky are you that you didn't have to be somewhere urgently. I'm not sure you want that guy at the bachelor party, but I do think you want that guy as your head coach. Right? There's different skill sets that make you like draft pick number 1 for a night on the town and make you draft pick number 1 for being a head coach of an NFL team that's about to enter into an arduous and long rebuild. And I think that's what everybody kind of reacts to. It's like, whoa, this guy's a lot. And then they come around to, actually, it's nice to always have the practice dummy set up perfectly. Right? It's nice when I start a drill to have everything set up exactly where it should be so we can get the most out of the drill. Right? You don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, we ordered pizza. Can you help me set the table? Right? Like, let's get out to China. But at a practice field, if it's like, hey, we've got individual period coming up. I need cones at 15 yards and 17 yards. You want somebody that's like not putting them at 12 and 18 yards. You know what I mean? So thank you to Russell Okung for letting us in a little bit, alleviating some of my concerns, right? Peeking back behind the curtain a little bit. I appreciate that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I also want to appreciate all of you for listening to me when I try to help you out. Help me help you. Talking about my friends at Window Nation. Right now they're running a deal. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit on that. You can have as many buy 2, get 2s as you want. The savings are unlimited. I talk about this all the time, but actually today, I went out for lunch, driving back. Big old storm, kind of out of nowhere. And over the next 9 or 10 days, if you look at the weather report, our area is going to get hit with all different kinds of rain. Rain with thunder, rain with wind, light drizzle, downpour. We're going to get hit with everything. You know what I like to know? I like to have confidence in the thing protecting me from those elements. If your windows, and I was just talking with Justin from Window Nation about this. If your windows are builder grade, right, what comes with most houses, or are just over 8 years old, there's a good chance that sealant is going to fail, right? There's a good chance that some of that caulking or some of those window materials are going to fail. And you know when you don't want to find out that your windows are failing? When it's downpouring outside and you got to keep your house dry. So what Window Nation can do is go into your house, free consultation, no obligation. They can look at your windows and kind of give you a state of the window, right? A state of the window address, if you will, to keep it non-political. They can look at it, tell you what's going on, tell you what their windows can do better for you. They do come with lifetime warranties, by the way. So when you get Window Nation windows, you don't have to worry about that 8-year deal there because they have a lifetime warranty. It's easy to set up your own consultation. Give them a call, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, the latest question in our series of 99 questions about the college football season. This one has to do with legends. Stick around.
It's the summer of soccer.
Swiderski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Hit the line by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles summer sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles sandwich combo time.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
The new Bluebell Cookies and Cream Cheesecake is cheesecake ice cream with chocolate cookie-crusted cheesecake pieces and chocolate cream-filled cookies. Again, cheesecake ice cream with chocolate cookie-crusted cheesecake pieces and chocolate cream-filled cookies. Buy two.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Walgreens and all Lowe's food stores.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Pour Downy in the rinse straight.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes 100% of odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Diamonds Direct's summer sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off, plus $100 off store-wide. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their newest designs. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more, 20% off. Now to July 21st. Ends this Sunday at 5 p.m. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
We all know what UV rays can do to our skin, but they can also do damage to your car. Keep that from happening with 303 Protectant. 303 Protectant keeps the sun's harmful rays from causing fading and cracking in rubber, plastic, or vinyl surfaces. From the dashboard to the tires, 303 Protectant keeps your car looking new longer. Get 303 Protectant today at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
Hey, Katie. Hi. Let's embark on a performance calibration initiative synthesizing qualitative and quantitative metrics for this past fiscal year.
If Heineken Silver was corporate jargon, it would have all the info you need. None of the annoying gibberish.
What I was trying to say is, you crushed it last year, Katie. Lady, you are getting a big, fat bonus.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer. Only 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99 questions about the college football season. We started it 99 days out from the college football season. One question a show. Today's question is, who would you rename the field after for each triangle team? The Alabama Crimson Tide have wasted absolutely no time in honoring Nick Saban. It's going to be Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Alabama, in Tuscaloosa. If we're nitpicking here, I think you should wait a couple years. I feel like it's a little too soon, but hey, you bring him back. Feels like he hasn't really left yet. But they're already jumping in with Saban Field. So I got to thinking, if you removed whatever allegiances are already associated with the fields, right? So now it is just a blank slate. NC State, Duke, and North Carolina. Who are you naming the field after? We're not renaming stadiums, just like Alabama didn't. We're naming the field. Graham, which school should we go with first?
Let's go with Duke.
Duke. This one was actually the toughest. I think there's a few options. Obviously, they've had some players go on to the NFL. They've had some players have some success. I settled on Steve Spurrier because I think the name recognition matters. B, I think some of the heights of Duke were under Steve Spurrier, and even though he went on to kind of bigger things elsewhere, a lot of that started in Durham, which there's simply not much football that has started in Durham.
Right.
There is a temptation, right? Because, there's a temptation to say it should be Coach K Field.
They almost had him as there was rumors that he was going to be the guest for College Game Day when they were there last season for the Notre Dame game.
If you go into the Miami Heat or the Miami Heat arena, they have Dan Marino's number retired,
right,
or his jersey retired. So maybe there's some crossover there, but I think Spurrier just kind of makes sense, right? If you have to name it something, who would the player be?
Daniel Jones Field,
Jamison Crowder, Thad Lewis. I just then no disrespect to those guys, I just don't know if they're field name worthy. If Daniel Jones wanted to donate $10 million, you can name something after him. Give him the weight room, locker room, field.
Practice facility.
But for Duke, I'm going Spurrier. Where are we going next?
I would just want to put my caveat in there. David Cutcliffe, just because growing up, David Cutcliffe was the one that made Duke football relevant during my young ages coming into college football fandom.
I'm a big Cutcliffe fan. Obviously, all the behind-the-scenes videos with him and the Mannings were always cool. Maybe Cutcliffe. That's fine. I'm fine with that. If they wanted to go Cutcliffe Field, I'm good. It just seems like when you have Coach K Court,
it's kind of an easy cop out.
You need Coach to have equal name weight on the football.
Yeah.
If you have Coach Cutcliffe, no disrespect to Cutcliffe, he's just not K, right? You need the national champion. So maybe that's why Spurrier wouldn't work either. Duke's tough. What team should we go to next?
Next, let's go right down the road on 540 to North Carolina.
This one is more difficult. I think Mac Brown has an argument, right? With him still being there, could be a little weird. But Nick Saban was at Alabama 6 months ago. So maybe Mac Brown. Maybe Lawrence Taylor, but he's back in the news for all the wrong reasons right now, so I think you gotta eliminate that one. Could it be one of the quarterbacks? They've had a nice little run here. Trubisky, Howell, May.
Well, I said if you wanted to fancy up the football field just a little bit more in each corner of the end zone, just put Marquise Williams' name on one back end of the end zone. Mitch Trubisky, Sam Howell, Drake May. I said Julius Peppers Field.
I think Julius Peppers Field is the right answer. He's going into the NFL Hall of Fame. There's a nod to the basketball program without being overt because he obviously played in it.
That's right, yeah.
I think Julius Peppers is the right answer. I think he's always been proud of his affiliation with UNC, and that's important. And it helps that he played so well in Carolina in his professional career. And he's a Carolina kid. So Julius Peppers, I think, is the right answer.
Julius Peppers is North Carolina football. From playing there, as you mentioned, North Carolina native, and then everything he's done for the Carolina Panthers.
Was worn in elementary schools.
Right.
And by the way, I wasn't living in Carolina at the time. I was living in New Jersey, and still you would have that jersey, which wasn't him, right? It was DN. You couldn't name it when you were selling it back then.
Now, since their football program is sponsored by Jumpman, if they wanted to go full Jumpman with it, yeah, Jordan Field.
If it would be
Salem is the roof field.
It'd be kind of baller if at the 50-yard line they had a Jumpman logo. It'd be kind of baller. You can do that even with Peppers, though. Peppers Field, presented by Jordan Brand. All we have left is NC State. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult. I think it would have been even more difficult if Russell Wilson didn't transfer out for his last bit there. You go NC State. You go Phillip Rivers has to be mentioned. Roman Gabriel has to be mentioned. Do you throw somebody like Bill Cowher in the mix?
Mike Glennon Field.
Mike, hey, I'm family loyalties. There's some options there, right? Do you go something like a Mario Williams? There's a lot of options here.
I feel like the biggest option you can go with is Phillip Rivers Field.
I think that's probably leader in the clubhouse. I think I'll probably agree with you. But on a different day with different persuasive arguments in front of me, I might lean somewhere else.
I mean, depending on what happens this upcoming football season, the answer might be given right to us with it being renamed Dave Doran Field in a couple of years.
What would it take for it to be Dave Doran Field? National championship?
Absolutely.
But would anything less than that if he makes 3 college football playoffs and wins, a handful of ACC championships? Is that enough?
I mean, fans were joking just this past year that you could go ahead and maybe make the argument start building the Kevin Keatts statue outside of Reynolds just for making it back to the Final Four.
I'm sure when that was being discussed, they were opening the door for a national
ACC championship?
I don't think an ACC championship does. I think
that doesn't do it.
It'd have to be multiple, and I don't know what the number is, but definitely more than one college football playoff appearance, and which you would get because you'd have to win probably like a handful of ACC championships. Get the field named after you.
I know we were joking, saying if Daniel Jones wanted to donate a bunch of money to Duke, maybe he gets his name put on something. Mm-hmm. How about this? Scotty McCreery Field.
They could do like a broadcast booth or something. Give him the Scotty McCreery microphone where he sings the national anthem. Scotty McCreery. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was 99 questions about the college football season. We'll have more questions. We're getting to the nitty-gritty. We are definitely on the back 9 of 99 questions about the college football season.
We are, I want to say, 6 more Saturdays away until college football is back.
I think it might even be less than that. 6 Saturdays. No, close. A little bit less. 5.5 because it's right at the end of August and it's July 19th. So, yeah, we're getting close. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we'll update you on what and who and how it all happened at the Open Championship. And we have audio from Kevin Keatts' summer press conference yesterday. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Burgers, donuts is the bun.
It is outstanding because you got a little bit of the sweet, you got the savory. Now listen, you eat that whole thing and you're out for the entire day. Don't expect to be doing a lot after that. Your heart rate is going to go up if you eat that thing, but it is delicious.
It's worth the calories, right?
It is.
It sounds amazing.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red sevens mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 1 in 4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCAA.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
You put sunscreen on when you go out in the sun. Did you know that the sun could hurt your car, too? It's true. Keep cool this summer and protect the interior from fading and cracking with a custom window tint from Soundstation and Security. The sun's harmful UV rays can also hurt your paint on the exterior. That's why Soundstation and Security offers custom ceramic coating. Think of it as a little sunscreen with Soundstation and Security. 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Planning an engagement? Now's the time. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's spectacular Engagement Ring Blowout. 3 days only. Engagement rings, loose diamonds, and wedding bands. Up to 60% off. You'll be blown away by the huge selection of diamond sizes and engagement ring styles near cost, at cost, even below cost. Bailey's Engagement Ring Blowout. July 25th through 27th in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Elevate your driving with Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. For a limited time, when you trade in a 2010 or newer Buick or GMC vehicle, receive up to 15% off the MSRP of a new 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. Offer valid on stock number 24489. Similar offers available for others. Must take delivery by July 31st, 2024. GMC, we are professional grade. Visit our showroom, Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford, or find us online at wilkinsoncars.com.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best riders tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to PNC Arena July 27th and 28th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Gray Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of 99.9 The Fan, listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. Here's the current leaderboard presented by McConnell Golf. I have to give a shout out to Daniel Brown, because Daniel Brown was leading the Open, the British Open, as, by the way, a British golfer, after the first round, and he had all that time to think about it, and he did not completely and totally wet the bed today. That's unbelievable. Did he fall behind Shane Lowry? Yes, Shane Lowry, Irishman, also participating in kind of his home Open, has a 2-stroke lead on the field, so Shane Lowry is in the lead. But tied for second are 2 Englishmen in Daniel Brown, a relative unknown, and Justin Rose, who over the last 20, 25, 30 years is the best English golfer in the world.
I like the joke you made in the bullpen when we were watching the tournament earlier, when you said, do you think that Justin Rose is Danny Brown's Danny Brown?
Daniel? Danny? Are you that close with him?
Same thing. Yeah, Daniel Brown's like Michael Jordan of golf.
I think Justin Rose probably is somebody that Daniel Brown has looked up to.
Both Scottish golfers.
English golfers,
English
but yes.
golfers, excuse me.
Probably his entire, at least, golfing career, right? Justin Rose has achieved so much, and Daniel Brown being a fellow countryman and in the same industry, probably has looked up to Justin Rose forever, and now they're tied going into the weekend of the Open Championship. That's like a semi-pro basketball player. Not semi-pro, I don't know how you would say this, like a G League basketball player who grew up watching LeBron, playing, video games as LeBron, being very interested in LeBron's career. Suddenly, it's like overtime of the NBA Finals, and you're tied in scoring with LeBron.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
It's really, really cool. The
Not
rest
even
of
once in a lifetime, but
for Daniel Brown, he's hoping to, get back time and time again, but it doesn't play out that often for the journeymen that go on these runs. Elsewhere on the leaderboard, just to let you know the top three and the notables. Top three, as we mentioned, Shane Lowry, Daniel Brown, Justin Rose. Billy Horschel, the top American, he is tied for fourth, 2 under par, 5 strokes off the lead on the tournament. Scotty Scheffler, the number 1 golfer in the world, also tied for fourth, 2 under par, 5 strokes off the lead. Jason Day, Corey Connors, 1 under par. Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, 1 under par. So there's of the 10 players under par, kind of star-studded, right? So the hay is not in the barn by any stretch for Shane Lowry, Daniel Brown, Justin Rose up there at the top. There's some guys still coming for him. Dustin Johnson, look at that, tied 13th, along with John Rahm, along with Colin Morikawa, along with Brooks Koepka. They're all 1 over par. So there's some interesting players in the mix. We do have to point out that Tiger Woods will not make the cut. Actually, I believe everyone might be off the course today, so the cut may have already taken place. They may have finished up since we got on the air.
You don't even know if he's going to get a plane ride back to the States. All these Microsoft.
Something tells me I don't think Tiger is like waiting in a gate with the rest of us.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's not sitting there looking at the board with all the departures on it, just seeing delayed. He has the type of plane that takes off when he gets there.
Tiger's definitely not waiting around in boarding group B.
And yeah, he's not like, gosh, got to wait for zone 8. Hopefully I don't get a middle seat. I also know that and they were talking about this on social media. His son is in some big junior tournament this weekend, so I don't even think he'll hang around to see the rest of the Open. He'll bounce as soon as he can to go see his son. But we have some audio here from Tiger. He went 8 over par on the first day, 6 over par on the second day. That's not going to get it done. This is what he had to say on the tough performance during the first round.
I didn't do a whole lot of things right today. Made that putt on the third hole, and then I think I had three putts today. Didn't hit my irons very close, and didn't give myself a whole lot of looks today. So need to shoot something in the mid-60s tomorrow to get something on going on the weekend.
Did not shoot something mid-60s.
Yeah, spoiler.
As I mentioned, 6 over today. He's like, I still believe, and I've gotten into a couple disagreements about this. I don't think it's a 0.0% chance that Tiger's ever going to win again. I think it's a low percentage. And I think he's going to have to catch fire on things that are difficult to catch fire on, right? It's things like he said, iron shots, putting. Those things, you have to play a ton to have the feel for it, and he can't play that much due to his physical limitations. But he's still Tiger Woods. And there's going to be a day that he wakes up and he's just like, look at this. It feels like 2006 again. It feels like 2000 again. And he's going to be able to run it in. It's just the days where he doesn't, it's going to look ugly.
He's at a point in his career where in order to win another major tournament, everything, as you mentioned, literally is going to have to go right for him. And golf is probably the toughest professional sport to try and have everything go right for you.
But like the things we worry about with other golfers when they're leading after a round, when they're playing well, and we're worried about like what's going to happen between their ears, you don't worry about that with Tiger. Like if Tiger gets a 2-stroke lead, you're not like, oh gosh, is he gonna have a lapse in judgment? That's not gonna happen. The hard part is the physical part for him, and that's gonna take some luck that on the right day, the right time, he has that not as good as I once was, but as good once as I ever was moment.
It's like yesterday we were joking around. What does Daniel Brown do tomorrow night after leading?
You don't
Tiger
worry
Woods
about
doesn't
that.
worry about that. Yeah.
Tiger can do whatever he wants. I used to think that was crazy. When I was in college playing football, I was very routine. Like, I left to go out onto the field at the exact same amount of time before kickoff every single time to warm up. I did the same warm up. I threw to the same guys in the preseason. I drank the same amount of Powerade or Gatorade or whatever we had because I knew. And part of it was like, hey, I knew that amount of Gatorade wouldn't mess with my stomach, right? Part of it was I knew that got me ready, so why would I mess with it? Like, it wasn't superstition. It was routine. When I saw guys that were just like, willy-nilly before a game, like, I might go out and warm up, I might not. It's a little cold. I think I'll go out there a little bit later. Used to blow my mind. But I think Tiger could do that because he's so like, it's not a big deal, right? I've been here before.
I'm just happy to be here. Happy to still be playing.
One more clip from Tiger on improving for future tournaments.
Can you look at like this year, Tiger, as like part of a bigger picture, like building towards something, that's maybe 6 months ahead off, maybe longer than that?
Yeah, I'm physically feeling a lot better than I did at the beginning of the year. After the end of last year, it was tough, and then I haven't played a whole lot. I think that as the year has gotten better, the year has gone on, I have gotten better. I just wish I could have played a little bit more, but I've just been saving it for the majors just in case I do something pre-major and then take myself out of it. So hopefully next year I'll be a little bit better than this year.
Yeah, hopefully. For golf's sake, for the sake of the sport. Hopefully he gets a few more times where, even after one day, he's in contention. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Open championship updates on 99.9 The Fan are teed up by McConnell Golf with 16 top-ranked courses, the best private club value from the mountains to the coast. Yesterday, I always like when this happens, right? Kevin Keatts, head coach, NC State men's basketball, had a press conference called his annual summer press conference. It used to be like, I would assume, right? The summer times you talk to a head basketball coach, it was like, how's the golf game, right? What's the beach like this time of year?
Where you vacation at?
Because there used to be an off season. Now, we're about to play you 4 clips of Kevin Keatts talking about 4 different incoming transfers, right? This offseason was, and by the way, NC State had a storybook season last year, right? Before that season was even over, right? Before they lost in the Final Four to Purdue, they had already inked new players or gotten commitments from new players in the transfer portal for next year. The seasons literally overlapped. So the summer press conferences that we used to, oh, coach, so, where you played golf recently? Yeah, did you make it to the beach or whatever it was? Now is like, hey, serious question here. What's the roster look like? How do you intend to use this player? What do you like about this transfer? College basketball is 365, 366 on a leap year, days of work now and things to catch up on. So the Kevin Keatts press conference yesterday, Graham was in attendance. There's a lot to learn. Starting with what he likes about Brandon Huntley Hatfield, one of those transfers.
Talented. As you guys know, him and both Mike and James played at Louisville, and the one thing that we talked about is they were leading at halftime, in that ACC tournament. So I think that's kind of what sold me on those guys. But Brandon's got a chance to be really good. He can step out, he can shoot it. He's gonna, there's no replacement for DJ Burns. So if everybody's saying it, is Brandon replacing DJ? No, because nobody in the country plays that way. And by the way, I'll talk about Summer League in a minute. Those guys are doing really good, and we should be proud of it. But he's talented, can really step out and shoot it. I think he's going to be really good for us.
It's interesting he talks about no one's going to replace DJ Burns. Because it's impossible. Like, you can, if there was another DJ Burns out there, of course you would try to get him, but they just don't exist, right? The people of that size, that footwork, that touch, he almost doesn't exist. But that's not what I think Brandon Huntley Hatfield is here for. I think Brandon Huntley Hatfield, I'm going to have to get better at saying that name. I think he's at NC State to replace Mo Diarra, right? The big that can shoot, the big that's 6'10", not 300 and something pounds. I think he's there to be a floor spacer and maybe even, allow them to play a little bit, not smaller, but a smaller style when he's on the court.
And also to help provide some assistance in the rebounding production. Kevin Keatts also talked about, he said nothing against DJ Burns, but DJ Burns just didn't rebound. It was
a choice.
It was a choice for DJ Burns.
Spend his energy elsewhere.
Exactly. And he was just saying how this year he wants this entire team to rebound by committee. He doesn't want to just be kind of one main guy like
Diarra.
Like a Mo Diarra last year, even Ben Middlebrooks, who contributed a little bit in some rebounding. But yeah, Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, 12 points, 8 rebounds, and his average last year at Louisville started 32 games for the Cardinals.
I also think it's funny that you bring up his season-long stats because with the transfer portal, I wish I had the time to make the massive spreadsheet that could actually track this. But I'm willing to bet that when a player plays against a team and goes well above their averages and then enters the transfer portal, the team that they played really well against is way more likely to go get them.
Yeah.
Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, in that ACC tournament game that Coach referenced where Louisville was leading early on, 12 points ahead of NC State before NC State mounted the comeback, Huntley-Hatfield had 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists, along with a block and 2 steals. Now, everything aside from rebounds, that was above his season average. He averaged in rebounding 8 per game on the season, but he had 7 in that one. Other than that, he averaged 13 points per game. He had 17 against NC State in a crucial game where all eyeballs were on him. He averaged 1 assist per game. He had 4 against NC State in a crucial game where all eyeballs were on him. He averaged little less than 1 block. He had a block against NC State. He averaged about half a steal. He had 2 against NC State. So, of course, they were interested in him. They just almost lost their entire magical run because Huntley-Hatfield was having a good day. Now they're like, let's get that guy on the squad, and they did. And he was one of their first commits before the end of the season even came to be.
And even when NC State was in the middle of their NCAA tournament run, of course, Louisville's season had come to an end. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield was already reaching out to NC State, saying, hey,
that looks like fun.
That looks like fun. I want to be a part of an NCAA tournament run like that. You guys were the ones that ruined it for me. Okay, can I come over to the dark side?
Yeah, exactly. The same. I already have a bunch of red gear.
Fair, yeah. I already have enough Adidas socks, enough Adidas basketball shoes that are red, black, and white. I don't have to go change my wardrobe up much.
We can make this work. We'll just
same thing
put
with Mike
tape
James.
over the team name.
Yeah.
Same thing with Mike James. Let's talk about Mike James. Here's Kevin Keatts on incoming transfer guard Mike James from Louisville.
Mike James, 6'5", 6'6", strong, driver, can really shoot the basketball. He'll play some 2 and 3 4s. I think that'll be, I'm looking for someone to replace DJ Horn. I don't know that I'm gonna have anyone to replace him the way he played, but I think both of those guys will be really good.
And as I said that whole speech about he played really well against NC State, that's why they wanted him. I actually think a big part of the reason why NC State was able to complete the comeback against Louisville is because they bottled up Mike James in a lot of ways.
Right.
A lot of ways. Held him to less than 50% of his scoring average, and he didn't shoot particularly well. Mike James, to me, is a depth piece right now, right? That's not knocking Mike James' physical ability. But you look at the Jaden Taylors out there, I think they're going to get the first crack at being like that DJ Horn role that coach was talking about.
Dennis Parker Jr.
Yep, and that's another interesting one because I like his jumper. I just think the leading scorer on the perimeter, there's going to be a few other people that get the first swing at it before you get to Mike James. But if you get to Mike James, he's certainly capable. He's a double-digit scorer in the ACC, almost 13 points per game on the year. And when you do that in the ACC, you're going to be attractive to a lot of guys in the portal.
Might not be a bad thing for Mike James to come off the bench for NC State next season, add some bench scoring.
Or even if he is a starter, being the starter that's not always hunting for their shot, right? Which is just a different role rather than a different time into the game.
Focusing more on defense.
I did notice Kevin Keatts, when talked about Dontrez Styles, did bring up that he's a Kinston native, as is our very own Graham Hill. So here is Kevin Keatts talking about your neighbor.
Coach Keatts, one of the new guys that I want to ask you about is Dontrez Styles. Obviously, Kinston, North Carolina native, has college experience playing right down the road from here. What did you like about his game when you recruited him in high school, and what do you like about his summer workouts?
You mean Dontrez, the transfer from Georgetown?
Yeah, exactly, yep.
Yeah, no, he's good. He is, I love him because of his ability, his versatility. I think he can play 2 or 3 positions on the floor, definitely the 3 and the 4. But, at some time, he shoots the ball well. We didn't have that. Mo was really good. Mo was probably one of the better rebounds that we've had at that position. Dontrez is a little different from him. You'll see him and Dennis Park a little bit play some of that position. His ability to step out and shoot the ball behind the three-point line is really going to help our program.
That was Graham actually asking the question about his neighbor. What was that for?
That was the one thing that stuck out to me is that it sounds like they kind of want Dontrez to be one of the main three-point shooting guys. And, I mean, here's the thing. I kind of tiptoed around this earlier when Paul Ihander and I discussed this on Next Up.
We don't tiptoe on the drive.
Well, yeah, we don't tiptoe on the drive.
We have the touch of a blacksmith.
Because Paul asked me, what do I expect out of Dontrez style this year? And this is the part of working sports radio that I'm running into where because I know somebody and I have a close relationship with them.
You got a source?
I covered Dontrez in high school. I feel like I need to be a little bit hard on him.
You have a source.
And
what's your source saying?
Well, when you look at what he did last year at Georgetown when he started 32 games and averaged 12 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 43%, I feel like that's not going to cut in the ACC that much.
Ooh.
And 2 seasons ago when he was playing at North Carolina, actually the first 2 years that he played at North Carolina, just talking to some of my close North Carolina references that I trust with Carolina basketball.
Sources.
They said that at times he just looked a little lost on the court.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that, one, he's improved his basketball IQ going into now his junior season of play in college basketball, and 2, that he's showing something in summer workouts right now from behind the three-point line that we're not seeing, in the highlight reels.
Have you seen the movie Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the term in that movie, Great White Buffalo?
Yep.
The Great White Buffalo is like the one that got away, the girl that you've been chasing your entire life, right? That's from Hot Tub Time Machine. From a recruiting standpoint, Styles feels like Kevin Keatts' Great White Buffalo.
That's exactly what it was. He recruited him heavily
out of high school.
High.
Recruited him, I assume, out of the transfer portal last time. Recruited him again out of the transfer portal, and finally, third time's the charm. He gets him to NC State. Here's what I think is the utopian response to this. Right? If things are going well for NC State, this is how it's going to go, or this is how it's been going. Kevin Keatts, as somebody that recruited Styles from Kinston and knew his game and was interested in bringing him in, you hope that he was watching him at North Carolina, right, scouting and those kind of things, going, they're not using him right.
Yeah.
Gosh, I need to get him on my team. He's good. They're not using him right. And then he went to Georgetown, and even though he had a little bit more production, you hope Kevin Keatts was going, that's closer, but it's still not it. They think they have it, but they don't. He's better than that. All you have to do is boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop, right? All you have to do is this and that and put him in this situation or give him the ball here. And now that he has him, all of those thoughts that he's been having the last 3, 4, 5 years finally get to come to fruition.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, nothing against Hubert Davis, but to me, I feel like at times he was thrown out there at random points in the game. Like, prime example, Carolina, his freshman year, North Carolina's opening game in the NCAA tournament to start off overtime against Baylor, Dontrez Styles as a freshman gets put out there. And you're scratching your head thinking, all right, he's barely played all season. Why now? But then he hits a big three-point shot to begin that overtime period, and that essentially jump-started the run for North Carolina to close out that game. So maybe there is a little bit of that. He just wasn't used at the right time. He wasn't a part of the right rotation, and maybe he'll get the best out of his playing ability at NC State under Kevin Keatts.
It's like I remember seeing running backs I knew in college playing for other teams and going like, they're between the tackles back, but their coach, mostly because of their size, was saying like they're a third down pass catching back. And maybe they didn't have the success there. Meanwhile, I'm watching going like, I'm telling you right now, if they came to our team, we would give them the ball on counters and dives. And sure, they might be a little undersized. It's not going to – they would be so much better. And you hope that Kevin Keatts, maybe not that obvious, that like black and white kind of yes or no, but you hope he's having those thoughts about Styles where he's going like, gosh, they're not using him right. And now that he finally, after all this recruiting, gets him there, gets to show everybody how it's done, coaching a guy that he's known for a long time. Lastly, the last transfer that he spoke about, that Kevin Keatts talked about, was Marcus Hill. This is what Kevin Keatts likes about Marcus Hill's game.
We talk about Marcus coming from Bowling Green, and a lot of people think because he's a mid-major guy that he may not have the same impact. he's really good. 20 points a game, can play some 1 and 2, really can score the ball. He's a paint touch guy, knows how to get to the free throw line. And I think those guys will be really good for us.
You heard it. I mean, I'm going to be honest, and I think it's always important for us to be honest. I did not watch a lot of Bowling Green basketball last year.
Fair.
Get me, right? Wasn't spending a lot of time in Rockford, Illinois, which is where he's from. So I don't know a lot about this player, but I know one thing, and I know that Kevin Keatts made sure to mention it from the very beginning.
Here's the thing that I love about Marcus Hill, just reading it up on his description right here. He's a JUCO kid. And I love me a good junior college backstory. I feel like they're just they have a little more grit. They're a little more tougher. And you mentioned, not many people were watching Bowling Green last year, but he's going from playing in JUCO to the MAC, where he was a part of the All-MAC first team, to now playing in the ACC, where I feel like he is ready to capitalize on his college basketball opportunities.
I don't even need to know all that. I need to know he averaged 20 points in college basketball last year. And he did so making less than 1 3 per game. So I don't know if he has the ability to be a shooter. His free throw percentage is decent, right around 75, so he might have it in his game somewhere. This guy forces the issue. 20 points per game is 20 points per game is 20 points per game. And that's why I believe Kevin Keatts real quickly there was like, I know he's a mid-major guy, but the guy scored 20.
Well, can I also let you know something? Going back to the last chance Tuesdays for Marcus Hill. In 2022, 2023, he led the entire National Junior College Athletic Association with 780 points, shooting almost 50% from the field. JUCO, baby.
JUCO, make it happen. But you look at the games he's had this year. He had 31 points against Toledo, 24 points against Ball State, 27 against Buffalo, 28 against Ball State, 28 against Western Michigan, 35 against Eastern Michigan, 29 against KC. Like, there's some legitimate big 33 against LIP, whatever that's in, Lipscomb, I guess. 29 against Western Kentucky. Like, he had some very, very high-scoring games. So you bring in a guy that can fill it up. 20 points in the MAC might be, 14 in the ACC if you give him that kind of volume. I don't know if he'll get that kind of volume, but 20 points is 20 points is 20 points to me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have to, once again, make sure you know to text keyword music, MUSIC, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see New Kids on the Block at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 28th. With that, we're going to take a break. When we come back, football at 4. Stick around.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio, WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease fees or conditions.
Diamonds Direct's summer sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off, plus $100 off store-wide. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their newest designs. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more, 20% off. Now to July 21st. Ends this Sunday at 5 p.m. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
A few contest rules from sports radio stations The Fan, The Buzz. No purchase necessary, 21 to enter and play. Limited to 1 entry per person and 1 prize winner per family or household per contest every 30 days. Employees of Capital Broadcasting, its agencies, sponsors, subsidiaries, other broadcast companies, and immediate families of the above are ineligible to play. Winners are verified, complete documentation, and are responsible for all taxes and prizes received. All prizes are non-transferable and cannot be redeemed for cash. Winners give sports radio the right to publicize his or her name, likeness, or voice. Sports may change contest rules and prizes at any time and holds no liability for canceled or postponed events. Complete info of sports radio contests available at WRALSportsFan.com or during normal business hours at 3100 Highwoods Boulevard in Raleigh.
Bobby Joe absolutely hated her job.
Can't hate that job any more than I do.
So, time for one of those fancy tech schools?
No, I could never afford that. I'm going to Sharky's.
Sharky's?
Yeah, no better place to relax. Great food, cold beer, good whiskey, darts, billiards.
So now you love your job?
No, I still hate my job, but I loves me some Sharky's. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, everybody loves Sharky's. Sharky's Place, one of the best neighborhood bars in the world. 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, follow Crash Davis and his Durham Bulls story in a new genre. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hi everyone, meteorologist Anthony Baglione here, tracking a relatively calm afternoon, but we do have the chance for a few showers and storms and then some lingering coverage overnight tonight. High temperatures are going to make it into the upper 80s with partly cloudy skies and then still scattered storms Saturday and Sunday of the weekend.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 377 points at 40,287. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for football at 4. And today it's going to be a little bit of news. We're going to have some audio to play for you, but it could also be seen as a word of warning. Sometimes I think the transfer portal is seen by players and fans as just an opportunity for players to go jump at the better opportunities, which in a lot of ways it is. Go fulfill their dreams, which in a lot of ways it is. But I also want to make sure you know meaning players, meaning fans. Like when somebody leaves, that doesn't mean their dreams are guaranteed to happen. Going from a mid-major to a Power 5 doesn't automatically mean you're going to be making way more NIL money and you're going to become a star. Going from a whatever perceived lesser school to a blue blood doesn't guarantee you're going to be an NFL draft pick. I think Riley Leonard is right in this spot. Riley Leonard left Duke, transferred to Notre Dame. Now he's on lists of dark horse to be the number 1 overall pick, right? He becomes this other entity, and it's perceived that he left Duke to go to Wake Forest, and now he'll be showered with riches, and he'll get to live out his dream. Well, it's rare, but we have almost a literal one-to-one comparison. Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman left an ACC school in the state of North Carolina where he'd established himself as a star to go to Notre Dame with the same idea, right? He's going to play in a more pro-style offense. He's going to show everybody what he can do. He's going to play top competition, and then he's going to go to the NFL. Well, guess what happened? Didn't lead him to the promised land. He went to Notre Dame, posted a career-high passer rating, right? Just by a little bit, but still. So a better efficiency season than he posted at Wake Forest at any point in time. Went undrafted in the NFL. Signed with the Commanders as an undrafted free agent. And was still drafted in the UFL draft, which is that spring league, because they aren't confident he's going to make an NFL roster and they want him to have a landing place if he doesn't. And then when College Football 25 came out, guess which team he was playing with and posting screenshots of online?
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
Against Clemson, who he went undefeated against, or went winless against during his career
and he beat
at
him
Wake
by
Forest.
A bunch. But he's playing as Wake Forest, right? The place that he left to go chase these dreams. Now, I'm not saying anything about like regrets or anything like that. I'm sure that Notre Dame season was really, really fun. But there would have been something cool about putting that ACC touchdowns record so far out of reach, it'll never be beaten. Would have been something cool about having another season at Wake Forest. So now Riley Leonard is doing the same thing. It's a bet on himself. But it is not a guarantee. And there is a cost of it, right? Riley Leonard stays at Duke another year or two. Couple more really exciting wins, right? Bring game day back, right? Give Clemson another run. Do something like that. You're getting legendary status in Durham, right? You might be the one basketball or one football player that can hang out with the basketball team. Instead, he's going to Notre Dame, and he's betting on himself, and he's chasing a loftier dream. But that's not to say it's always going to end up perfect, right? The transfer portal, I think a lot of players look at it as some kind of guarantee, right? I hit the portal, I go to a better situation, bada boom, bada bam, all my wildest dreams come true. The transfer portal just puts you in a situation where things are going to be different. And another way to say that is things are never going to be the same. Right? Riley Leonard's legacy at Duke is completely different now. There was something he gave up to go chase that dream at Notre Dame. Let's jump to the clip here from Riley Leonard, who spoke to the media on why he transferred to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think everybody at Notre Dame kind of feels the culture that we have there is something special. I think the fan base and the tradition we carry around with us everywhere we go is unlike any other. So I only took one visit to a school when I was in the portal, and it was to Notre Dame, and I knew from there it was a place for me.
It's crazy to me to hear him already saying we, like
as he should, right? I mean, now he's supposed to be their leader. Like it is weird to hear. No, I'm with you, but it is. Like, once you become that guy, you're speaking as a mouthpiece for the team. You can't say they.
And also taking one visit during his time in the transfer portal, and it was to Notre Dame. It makes me think, and Tim, we brought this up before, or we've talked about this before, what was really said during that interaction following the Notre Dame-Duke game last year between Sam Hartman and Riley Leonard?
It wouldn't even have to be then. It could be any time, right? He could talk to Sam Hartman. He could talk to the tampering of it all. People will hate it, but it happened.
Do you think at the very end, like when Sam Hartman was getting ready to walk away, like hey, by the way, you're good enough to play here, like just kind of planted the seed a little bit?
I don't know if it had to come from Sam. I think it could have come from coaches, like, through back channels. Maybe they used Sam as that. Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it was just like, hey man, get back healthy, because he was hurt at the time. I don't want to like get that specific into guesses and conjecture, but no, I definitely think he knew Notre Dame was interested before he hit the transfer portal. I definitely think that. But the overall points I'm making, because like Sam Hartman might have said like, oh, it's awesome, it's great, right? It is Notre Dame, right?
Football
like,
Jesus,
yeah,
gold helmets.
Touchdown Jesus, Rudy, Joe Montana, like it's a thing, right? It is a thing.
New head coach Marcus Freeman. You get to be a part of a new generational glory.
I don't know if I've name dropped this one too much on this show. I try not to name drop a ton, but I did play 4 years of football and basketball with Manti Te'o. In middle school and early high school, we were teammates, and obviously for a long time there were a lot of jokes about that. But now after the documentary came out, I think there's a lot less jokes about Manti, which is awesome. But what people don't know is one of Manti's best friends that also went to school with us, his name was Robbie Toma, played at Notre Dame also, and punt returner, wide receiver, spot player, like didn't become a superstar. But when I tell you this guy is still beloved by Notre Dame. Like if he goes to South Bend, Indiana, just a gadget wide receiver, punt returner from 10, 15 years ago, like Notre Dame, it is cool. Don't get me wrong, right? Like if you play there, good for Riley Leonard. But what I would say is you could have, like that's just any player at Notre Dame. At Duke, Riley Leonard could have been not just any player at Notre Dame, right? He could have been the player at Duke. He could have, you get drafted first overall out of Duke, or you get to a Heisman finalist out of Duke, or you win ACC something or another out of Duke. You're not just another player. You are something special that they try to build on.
I mean, I forget about this until I was reading an article earlier. And in the 2022 season, he rushed, after rushing and passing for a combined 33 touchdowns at Duke.
13 of them rushing.
Yeah.
No, he was – I still think he has a ton of potential. I don't know if he had to go to Notre Dame to reach that potential. That's kind of what I think. He could have been the first pick if he plays great. I think he could have, risen up Mel Kiper's draft board. I think he could have had all the hype at Duke. By leaving, you do give something up, but you do gain the Notre Dame stuff, so I'm fine with that. I'm just pointing out that the transfer portal, and you see it in basketball, right? You score 20 points at we were just talking about, you score 20 points at a mid-major, boom, cash that in, go to the ACC school right away. There's no guarantee they're going to let you shoot that much, right? There's no guarantee that that you're going to be now an NBA draft prospect because you're in the ACC. Sometimes, I know you want to test yourself and all those things, you just have to weigh both sides of it. That's my point here. The trend, like Sam Hartman maybe already is, but could go down as the greatest quarterback in Wake Forest history by so far it's absurd, right? Instead, he went to Notre Dame. He passed on some of that to go to Notre Dame, I assume with the idea that he wanted to shoot up his draft status and end up in the NFL.
Or here's the other part of this, and this is where
that didn't happen. Go ahead.
And this is where Duke fans kind of had to take the cold, hard look in the mirror. Maybe he just wants to compete. Maybe he wants to be a part of a team that can compete for a college football championship.
If you think Notre Dame can do that. Again, I followed Manti Te'o's career very closely. They made the national championship that year. I lost quite a few bets with my friends and teammates betting on my guy at Notre Dame because they lost by about 40 to Alabama. And that's the last time Notre Dame really had a good run at it. And if you call that a good run at it. If they win the national championship, you can play this back, and everybody can laugh at me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a Rookie of the Year on the Carolina Hurricanes? Is it possible? Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
This is not summer vacation. If you're out there reading as much as you possibly can about hockey and the Carolina Hurricanes and whatnot, this and the NHL, this is not summer vacation. There are teams that are having to put their cases together right now to figure out how much they can re-sign players. There are still free agents out there being re-signed.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes are in a unique situation heading into next year, at least compared to last year. The Calder Trophy goes to the Rookie of the Year in the NHL. So with free agency mostly done now, draft obviously done now, ESPN put out a list of their kind of picks to win the Calder Trophy. Now, there were no Canes, just so you know, on the like featured list that got like paragraphs and breakdowns. But they had other names to watch, and in there was Bradley Nadeau, first-round pick from not the most recent draft, last year's draft, out of played this past year at the University of Maine. He was named as one of the other names to watch. Now, I'm not putting as much stock in Bradley Nadeau was the one chosen. Right, I'm not putting a ton of stock in, Bradley Nadeau is. Oh, look at those highlights. Look at that hype. But what I am saying is that does emphasize that a rookie is going to have the opportunity to even be on that list this year for the Carolina Hurricanes. The Canes have an opportunity on their roster for a rookie forward to make a massive impact. Is it Nadeau? Is it Felix Ungersorum? Is it Jackson Blake? Is it somebody we don't see coming? These are all forward prospects in the Canes system. I don't think we know. I don't think ESPN knows. I'm not even 100% sure the Canes know which one it'll be. But there is a gap in the roster that many are expecting a rookie to fill. And that's new. Hasn't been that way in a while for the Canes. Not to say rookies haven't been able to force their way in, right? You think back to like Seth Jarvis, like rookies are going to have their chance, but they had to force their way in, right? There weren't a ton of doors open for Seth Jarvis as a rookie to come in and make plays. He had to go make plays so much so that they're like, we can't justify not playing him, right? This is like, hey, one of you rookies is going to have to play. That's new. This is new for the Canes over last year. And actually it's good because, what was it, on Wednesday we celebrated 1 year of this show?
Yeah.
On Wednesday we celebrated 1 year of the drive. So I took over at this point in time, fully covering the Canes professionally. When I took over this time slot, there was almost 0% chance a rookie was going to have an impact on the team in any significant way. They were bringing everybody back. They had signed, Bunting? They had signed Orlov. They had signed Lemieux. And that was whatever new blood you were going to get on the Canes, that was it.
You kind of got spoiled a little bit, Tim, when you jumped in here last year with all the re-signings and how just stat of a roster the Carolina Hurricanes had to now this year. It's like, okay.
I would actually say yes and no. I might, obviously I was excited and spoiled because I came into a team that everybody predicted was going to win the Stanley Cup. And no radio person in the history of the world, no media person in the history of the world would be like, you know what, it's really unfun to cover a really good team with a bunch of personalities and really good guys. But I'm here for this year too, right? It does make it interesting when a team has to depend on a rookie, right? And by the way, it's like holding a lottery ticket, right? I saw it driving in on the billboard. I think Mega Millions, the drawing is today at like $250 million. It is exciting to hold that ticket knowing it might be worth $250 million. Bradley Nadeau or Jackson Blake or Felix Ungersorum or whoever fits into that gap in the roster that is rookie-sized is that's where my eyes are going to be anytime they're on the ice. Is it the next Seth Jarvis? Is it the next, hey, you know what, maybe they need to spend more time in the AHL? We don't know right now. Last year, there was so little unknown going into the Canes system. The unknown was like, how long is it going to take Svetch to get back to 100% from his injury? That was the big mystery, which is exciting and good and stable and all of those things. But I wouldn't say it's the most, you don't drive everyone's excitement meter all the way up with knowns. This year, there's going to be some unknowns. There's going to be someone out there playing, potentially game one of this season will be their second or first NHL game ever. And they're going to be out there on a team that's going to be one of the top 7 in betting odds to win the Stanley Cup. That's something that's a little different, right? Last year, I didn't do it, but I guarantee if you go back and look at the Calder Trophy choices in preseason of last year, there weren't any Canes on there. There weren't. Couldn't have been because there was no space for them, right? Now, suddenly, there's space for them, right? All those players leaving, all the money, right? Because, players got more expensive, and you want to be able to pay Jarvis, and you want to be able to do this. You had to let some guys go. That every shot by a player that's not on the team anymore that was taken last year has to be taken by someone else this year, and some of those are going to be taken by lottery tickets. Could be worth nothing. Could be worth like the scrap paper that it is, right? Lottery tickets, you can write addresses and stuff on them in Sharpie when you're on the phone and someone's reading you an address and you just need somewhere to write them down. Or they could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what some of these younger guys are. 3 years from now, we might be saying like, oh gosh, you want to lock up Jackson Blake to a long-term deal. Kid's been a stud since he was forced into the lineup back in 2024. Or we might be saying, remember Jackson Blake?
Yeah.
Right? It's that kind of deal. How the heck did he end up on an opening day roster back in 2024? Like, either one is possible. So Bradley Nadeau being on a Calder Trophy like watch list, I don't know if it says like he's going to be the rookie, right? I think the only people that might know that are like Rod and Eric Tulsky, and even they might not know it. They might be like, hey, let's see who balls out in training camp, who comes back ready to go, who puts on the weight, whatever it is. But I am excited. Like, the rookies will have my attention if and when they get a shot on the Carolina Hurricanes.
Remember last season in the regular – I know it feels like such a long time. Well, actually, it really doesn't. But remember last season, the regular season finale, or last year, when the Carolina Hurricanes lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-3.
This was the Jesper Fast injury game, which was an absolute gut punch.
Correct.
Yes.
They knew they had their spot in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They knew they weren't competing for the President's Cup.
Seth Jarvis was in the booth for a period.
For a whole period. Jesper Kotkaniemi scored, which would be nice to see a lot of that. But there was a lot of prospects that played.
Yep, Jackson Blake, Bradley Nadeau, Scott Morrow, a whole bunch of them.
And I was going to say, one of the main guys that really stuck out to me, because in a situation like that, when you have a lot of those prospects play, like you could tell they don't have the NHL experience. They're not winning face-offs consistently like we're used to the Carolina Hurricanes doing.
Occasionally they get caught looking up in the stands like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they get dusted a little bit as they're getting back on defense. But one guy that was a consistently good player in that game to me was Bradley Nadeau.
There you go. And that's, to be completely honest, that's probably all the ESPN voters or whoever contributed to this article.
That's all they looked at.
Yeah, because it's impossible for them to pay attention to every college hockey game, AHL game, KHL game, SHL game, OHL game. Like and those are all different hockey leagues across the world.
ZHL probably.
Yeah, there's one. Zimbabwe. They probably did watch that game and go, all right, there's a spot here. This is what I'm saying. They probably said, like, there's an opportunity for a Canes rookie to make waves. And they'll be in a good spot because they're not going to be surrounded by a bunch of other young guys making rookie mistakes. They'll be surrounded by, potentially a Jack Drury or a Kotkaniemi who you brought up. They'll be surrounded by veterans that can make sure they're getting their feet wet in the right way. So they're like, all right, there's an opportunity here for a Canes player to be on our Calder watch list, which doesn't happen often. Who should we put? All right, well, let's go watch the last game last year. And they said, all right, Bradley Nadeau's buzzing. Let's go ahead and make him the other name to watch. If they had all three on the other name to watch, it would make sense. I don't think all three will be there. I think only one of them will. But your guess is as good as mine.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't there some parts of the playoffs this past year where there was even some discussions, I think maybe it was even because of the Jesper Fast injury, of pulling up like a Scott Morrow or Bradley Nadeau?
Scott Morrow as a defensive player when Pesce got hurt.
Okay, so that's what it was.
Was talked about briefly, but D'Angelo ended up playing well.
Yeah.
And it never really became a point of conversation. I think if D'Angelo would have gone in and not played well, I actually think a lot of his best hockey was in the postseason. I think there would have been a serious conversation about Scott Morrow. But Morrow is in a different category, right? He's a defenseman.
Yeah.
I don't think there's as much of a opening on the Canes roster this year for a defenseman. At a time, I thought there was going to be, but they did a really good job in free agency filling those holes with veterans. So I think Morrow will spend his time at the AHL with Chicago, playing 25 minutes a night, and heck, maybe even quarterbacking a power play. So he's separate category. The other three are the ones I think could do something because there's an opportunity for them, right? The Canes need wingers. The Canes need goal scorers. They need, fourth liners, and those rookies might be the most dynamic of the bunch. They have a lot of solid players. I think the rookies might be the most dynamic.
Definitely don't know if you'd wanted to throw Bradley Nadeau into his first NHL career playoff against the New York Rangers, but
keep your head on a swivel, young man.
When your number's called, your number's called. You got to step up and put the pads on.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the Canes' first game this year is it Tampa or Florida?
It's Florida.
It's Florida. Heck. Your first or I guess first real action, right? Not counting that last game of last year, might be against the defending champs.
Yeah, but it'll be their, development team as well. He's definitely not going to be going
I was
out there
talking about
against
the regular season.
Oh, the regular season.
I might be wrong on that. You're right.
I know
may have been
preseason definitely is.
I may have been thinking of the preseason opener. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to Storm Tracker, need to update you on the British Open. Listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. I do have a hard time because I am a golf nerd, so I kind of want to call it the Open Championship, which is what like everybody over in Europe calls it. But I also know that a lot of American golf fans are like British Open, so I'm kind of trying to say both. Here's the current leaderboard of the British Open, presented by McConnell Golf. The top three is kind of storybook for it being a British Open. Shane Lowry, the Irishman, is 2 clear of the field, 7 under. Daniel Brown, Justin Rose, 2 Englishmen, are tied for second at 5 under par. Some other notables, Scotty Scheffler is 5 off the lead, 2 under par. That's a tie for 4th, so not many players in red numbers. Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, Jason Day, all 1 under par on the tournament. They're in a tie for 7th, and everybody else worse than that. If you're looking for the big names, Bryce DeChambeau, after winning at Pinehurst, missed the cut, +9. Rory McIlroy, after collapsing at Pinehurst, missed the cut, +11. And Tiger Woods, after not playing great in day 1, was unable to put together something magical in day 2, missed the cut, +14. But some other really good golfers are down there with him. Wyndham Clark, major winner, +16. Sahith Theegala, one of the up-and-coming Americans, +14. So there's some carnage out there on the course. Do you know what I do want to highlight real quick, though?
What's that?
And I know it's often said, it's oversaid, but it's true. Golf is such a mental game. Shane Lowry, who's 2 strokes clear of the lead right now, is an unbelievable, and I know this isn't the best word, but I'm going to use it, might even be a made-up word, unbelievable focuser, right? And I think this is something every sport can learn from golf, which is when things go bad, it doesn't have to affect your next shot. Shane Lowry on the 11th hole was 2 strokes clear of the lead. He was the leader by 2 strokes. 11th hole. By the way, he is a Irishman. This is the British Open. Big deal for him. He's won it once. He's going for it too. Off the tee, terrible shot into the thick grass that's impossible to hit it out of.
The foliage.
The foliage, exactly. The vegetation, if you will. The tall stuff. I think it's fescue. He took a hack at it, and it went even worse. We're talking into the higher stuff, into the more foliage, over the fans. Just a bad shot. So now he's rightfully upset, right? So he drops what's called the provisional, which means if we can't find that, I'm going to have to come back here and hit from here again. So I'll hit one here. That way, if we can't find it, I already hit the one that I have to hit. It's called the provisional. Boom. Sticks it on the green. Great shot. So now he has a motivation not to find his ball, but he has to go look. Golf honor thing, right? So he goes to look, and his caddy's looking, and everyone's looking, and I'm sure he's like, kind of looking, right? Like, kind of not.
Oh, that's just a rock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, how long do I have to stay out here to make it seem like I looked long enough before I can go play my provisional? Try to get out of here with maybe a double bogey. He's walking away. Like, they're done looking. Fan finds it. Fan points it out. Hey, right here, buddy. It's an unplayable lie. He has to take another unplayable drop. He has to play his original ball. That's the rules. It becomes an even more of a mess. He gives back his entire lead. It's all of those details to say he has an absolute calamity of a hole. My mind immediately goes to, having watched golfers do this for years and years and years and years, oh, that's going to be really, really tough to come back from. In reality, he's either tied for the lead or a stroke off the lead. So it's not the end of the world, right? He's still far ahead of the field. But those things snap you out of whatever focus you're in, ruin your rhythm. Shane Lowry did an unbelievable job from that point forward, just playing solid golf, right? Not trying because sometimes the next shot you're like, all right, I lost 3 strokes on that hole. This swing, I'm going to get back all 3, and you swing as hard as you can. It's like you can't do that. He just stuck to it, and now once again at the end of the day, at the end of day 2, he's 2 strokes in the lead again, just by playing solid, stress-free golf. I think about that when like a football team gets down 17, and you feel like everyone's trying to make the 17-point play. And it's like, those don't exist. All you have to do is say, being down 17 doesn't affect this next play. Let's make the right decision, make the right play here. Golf is unbelievable at testing that, right? So you hit it in the woods. That doesn't have to mean your next shot is going to be bad, right? You hit it in the woods. You lost a ball. Drop it. Let's see what happens. Right? Basketball players, it's like, oh, no, we're down 6. It's like the third quarter. They're like, quick, put up the 7-point shot from half court.
Jack up a 3, yeah.
It's like, whoa, just play good basketball. Shane Lowry showed that in spades today, which I think is well-deserving of him being the lead. Going into the weekend, he'll be teeing off last at a major championship. That means obviously a ton to him. Open Championship updates on 99.9 The Fan are teed up by McConnell Golf with 16 top-ranked courses, the best private club value from the mountains to the coast. Listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. We just gave you a little bit of an update there. And with that being said, it's time for the Storm Tracker. Storm Tracker, where we look at the latest rumblings, news, rumors for the Carolina Hurricanes this offseason. This is the last Storm Tracker, because there's some events taking place over the weekend that should really settle down the offseason movement. What rumor are we looking at today?
Well, speaking of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, we're close to it, but also take warning, Hurricanes fans. Can we bring that hashtag back? Because I feel like that hashtag
a good one.
Is a lot more presentable for this upcoming season. But take warning, Hurricanes fans. You could be indeed
what
for
about
a
the
big
storms are coming?
Storms, yeah. Well, one storm's a coming either way. But this weekend will be a big one for Hurricanes fans just because the main focus will be new contracts for Marty Necas and Seth Jarvis. It feels like it's the last final move for Carolina Hurricanes, Eric Tulsky, and rightfully so. I mean, this feels like this has been the main storyline of the entire offseason, not just, is it going to be a bridge deal between Seth Jarvis or a long-term deal, and also just what the heck are we doing with Marty Necas? They're the last piece of unfinished business for Carolina after restricted free agent forward Jack Drury signed his 2-year, $3.4 million, $45 million contract on Wednesday.
I'm fascinated by what's going to happen over the next 24 hours with Martin Necas. I'm a big fan of the saying, deadlines get deals done, right? Well, there's arbitration coming this weekend. And if you want to agree to a deal on your own, you better do it now, right? You've been working on it, I assume. You've given each other the cold shoulder, the hey, approach me when you want to bring some real numbers or whatever it is. Silent treatment to, all right, now you're coming back to the table, back to the silent treatment. It's now time to either hit arbitration, which I don't think anyone ever really wants to do, and it actually doesn't happen that often, or agree, right? Or finally compromise, or finally cave on one of your demands. That's a deal breaker for them. So what happens with Martin Necas, either way, we're going to know by Monday what contract he's playing on and how it's going to go. What that then does is gives the Canes a crystal clear picture of everything else going on their roster that they can then fit Seth Jarvis into they can then build Seth Jarvis's decision or his contract or what they want to offer him around what everything else becomes known other than Seth Jarvis after Martin Necas gets settled.
Nobody ever wants to go to arbitration because essentially, what did you say? You're getting gaslighted by your own team. I mean, you're having to go in.
As a player, I would hate it.
You're going in there and you're essentially having to just state your case.
I hope you can just send your representation and you don't have to be there, because the team is going to walk in there like it's like
a performance review,
like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men, or like Suits, like Harvey Specter. They're going to walk in there with all of their lawyer panache, and they're just going to scream about how you don't deserve the money you think you're worth. This guy thinks he should have $8 million a year, but have you seen him in the third period of a postseason game? Neither have we. Like, it's going to be like that aggressive, right?
We're looking for a lawyer who went to Harvard and has practiced law. Unfortunately, you have neither and did not go to Harvard. We're looking for a center that could score.
And by the way, the player has to say, you got to go in there and argue your case. You got to be as pomp and righteous and braggadocious as you possibly can, right? Here's why I deserve what I deserve. And by the way, it's not actually like a courtroom drama. You don't have to. Will the ladies and gentlemen of the jury please recognize my scoring pace when on a first-team power play?
Do you remember that wraparound goal I had against the Nashville Predators in Game 5 of the 2021-22 playoffs? Right? If I
Object. That was from how many years ago, Your Honor? But
if I hadn't scored that, overtime would have been forced, and the Hurricanes might have lost that series in the first round to the Predators.
It's literally the concern I get, like Russell Okung, who we talked about earlier, offensive lineman in the NFL. Richard Sherman has done it. Lamar Jackson has done it. When players are their own agents, it's my number one concern.
It is.
It's like the GM's then going to have to be honest with you. Right? Normally they go honest to the agent, then the agent gets to sugarcoat it, right? Well, they don't want to come up to our offer because they're a little worried about your age, when in actuality the GM said, guys fall off at his age. They're no good. Right? It's like, okay, well, let me talk to my client. Then you go to the client, it's like, well, you're a little worried, you're getting a little long in the tooth, right? They can sugarcoat it. Arbitration is a cold glass of water to the face, right? Arbitration is really, really honest, if you will. And I'm not sure any player wants real honesty about their game. They want to build up their confidence.
Martin, what have you done for us lately?
Exactly. Like, all right, let's be real. And they're going to bring stats, and they're going to bring numbers, and they're going to bring contracts of other guys with your stats, and it's going to hurt.
I say that, but now I'm looking at it. 53 points, 24 goals, 29 assists in 77 regular season games and 9 points, 4 goals, 5 assists in 11 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's not bad.
Not at all. I mean, that's why so many. I mean, he's going to be 6.5. Like, he's not going to get paid little. But and that's the team side of it, right? They don't want to hit arbitration because what if the agent looks at a couple comps? And the judge, the arbiter, looks at a couple comps and is like, no, let's give him way more than the Canes wanted to. Let's give him what he's asking for.
Now, in an article written by I do have it right. In an article written by, I thought I read Seth Jarvis' stats for a second, but NHL.com released an article where they interviewed Eric Tulsky about the matter along with Seth Jarvis. And Tulsky did say, we have put everything on the table from 1 year to 8 years. So it's a question of figuring out whether there's something that makes sense for both sides, both Marty Necas and his agents.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of coach speak. Right? Everybody's looking for something that works for everybody. But my big point is, regardless of how we get there, we're going to have Martin Necas' situation crystal clear soon. And that allows Seth Jarvis to know exactly what the Kane situation is, and they can make their decisions.
Well, here's the thing. It was a lot easier for trades to be made before July 1st when teams had the flexibility to go pivot and sign other players to replace whatever they gave up.
He's not going anywhere.
It's after July 1st, yeah. The roster is pretty much built for most NHL teams.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be a second-line winger for the Carolina Hurricanes next year. The question is, how much is he going to get paid, and will they have an agreement on a 1 or a 2 year deal? That's what it is. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Graham gets to be the judge and jury because it's time for Real Bold Predictions. Stick around.
Are you ready?
From 54, snap and hold are good. Kick is on the way, plenty of leg, and it is good!
Over the middle it goes, and he's got Puka Nacua to the 30, to the 20. No one's going to catch him.
Back to throw, Crosby off the edge, and he's got him back at the 23! Tua back to throw, deep, down the numbers on the left, and the Cheetahs got it! Touchdown!
The NFL kicks off August 1st on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. All right, everything for the exterior of your home. Do you have a favorite?
I have a favorite, yeah.
I want to hear it.
So windows, doors,
are my favorite products. The reason why is because we are the best at installing them. You know, there's 1,000 different types of windows on the market, doors on the market, different people installing them, different companies. I don't care how good a window you get. If it's not installed properly, it's not going to do you a bit of good. I always tell people, if you buy a submarine window, the best one in the world, and you have me put it on a submarine, you don't want to get in that submarine.
I don't want to get in the submarine either way.
I hear you. So anyway, so that's the thing I say. So it's really important that you have things installed properly. We've been around since 1961. We've got a 4.9 out of 5-star Google review ratings, over 800 reviews. Give us a call. We'll come out and give you a free no-obligation estimate.
It's the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online at aluminumcompany.com.
Diamonds Direct's summer sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off, plus $100 off store-wide. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their newest designs. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more, 20% off. Now to July 21st. Ends this Sunday at 5 p.m. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red 7s mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 1 in 4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. The experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
Dauntless is currently looking for skilled auto technicians to join the Dauntless team. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com/careers to apply.
Wait, she's posting pics with a dude in Mexico. We just broke up. If Heineken Silver was a doom-scrolling ex-boyfriend, it would have all the feels. None of the new boyfriend jealousy.
She looks happy. I'm going to message her. Hey, Stace, loved the super cute post with @RadRyan7. Enjoy Mexico and that ceviche spot from last year. Send pics.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer. Only 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Graham as our producer today. And Dennis will be back with us on Monday. But Graham continues to hold the title of, I can never predict what kind of music this guy's going to play coming out of commercials.
Rob Thomas, man, Matchbox 20. Actually,
this isn't Matchbox 20.
Santana.
This is Carlos Santana. But yeah, right, Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. Santana had a real moment there in the early 2000s. A little resurgence that you probably are unaware of.
Other than for just this song.
Oh, we didn't have this conversation yesterday.
Uh-oh. I knew you were going to find a way to bring it back up.
I completely forgot until it started talking about you not knowing what's going on in the early 2000s.
Tim just loves to expose I'm a 25-year-old, folks.
No, trust me, everybody is going to hear what I'm going to say, and they're going to go, oh, this is not me in the wrong here, okay? This is not me poking any kind of fun. It is genuine, like befuddlement, genuine flabbergast that I am feeling right now. So yesterday, we'll get to real bold predictions. Yesterday during the show, we did a conversation about ESPN's top 100 list since 2000. And conversation was what it was. But when we were talking about it before the show, I brought up what? What are you laughing about?
Just of you feeling the need to tell this story.
I brought up Mia Hamm, who to me is top 3 or 4 female athlete popularity, fame-wise, of all time. Like, it might be the Williams sisters and then Mia Hamm. Like, I don't know if, like, Mia Hamm might be above Venus. It might be Serena and then Mia Hamm. She was so unbelievably popular. And I brought up Mia Hamm because she's on the list at number 64. And I was saying something about it and being surprised that she was – I forget what I was saying. And I could tell Graham's eyes were kind of like reaching for context clues to like see who I was talking about or what it was.
I was trying to like imagine her in my head.
Like anybody does, right? Like if someone's talking about something you don't know, you try to like pick up a clue here. And I was like, oh my gosh, do you not know who Mia Hamm is? And he didn't know who Mia Hamm was.
It's not that I didn't know who she was. I was just like, where have I heard this name before?
I think I even said like, who is she? And you said like tennis players. Or no, you said, I know exactly what you said. Because I had already said she's a soccer player. And I was like, do you not know who Mia Hamm is? And you went, yeah, she's like a current player, right? And I went, you don't know who Mia Hamm is. And part of it is just, yes, you're young. Like there's no way around that.
She began her soccer career in what, 1998? The year I was born?
Well, her World Cup first victory where she was already best player in the world was 1999. That was the one where Brandi Chastain ripped her shirt off and swung it around her head after. So, yeah, it's about when you were born. She was in mid-90s UNC. But, like, I know who, like, Steffi Graf is, right? I don't know why that was the one I picked. I know, like, it's just, it's not your fault. I'm not blaming you. I'm not making fun of you.
You've upset somebody because they're trying to call in right now.
I want that to be very clear. I think what it did was it opened my eyes to there are fully grown adults out here that are like contributing parts. Like Graham, you contribute a ton to the station. You are a contributing part of society, and you don't know who Mia Hamm is. And then the funnier part was I went in explaining who she was. I said she's married to Nomar Garcia-Parra, and you nodded, and I went, do you know who that is? And you said like Spanish soccer player. And I went, nope, shortstop for the Red Sox from like 2001. That is brutal. Do you know what's it's just not like this is where, and I'm in my like, I'd say early to mid 30s. Like I'm having these realizations that like you just don't like, they were so famous. Nomar was as famous as Jeter and A-Rod. They were the 3 American League All-Star shortstops, and it was like those 3 were like the big stars. And Mia Hamm was as famous as like she was at award shows.
I know you said she did like commercials with Derek Jeter.
Commercials with like Michael Jordan. She was like the Gatorade #1 female athlete. So she was in those commercials, and to just hear you go like, don't know.
You've really struck a nerve. We have 3 people trying to call into the show right now that are like, I guess.
All right, let's get them on. If they're there, pick one of them and let's see what they have to say. And again, I'm not saying this as a like a knock or anything on Graham. I'm saying it as just pure and total bewilderment, just confusing. From him to me, right? Because he was confused as what I was talking about. He didn't know who they were. And then I was confused that he didn't know who they were. Do we have somebody? Are you Graham, speak.
No, we have nobody.
Oh, okay. So the phone lines they got scared. But it is crazy. So now I just feel like, you've heard of the term guys naming dudes?
Yes.
Where it's just you sit around and you go like, hey, remember Benny Agbayani? And you don't know who that is. He was a baseball player in the early 2000s. And yeah, I remember. Do you remember Michael Huff? And you just do that over and over again. I feel like I want to do that with like the 2001 biggest stars in sports. Do you know who Kempe Mutombo is?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we got one. We're there. We're living. Do you know who Rick Fox is?
Rick Fox, yes.
All right, we're living. We're good. We're doing all right. It's just the fringe sports you're not as aware of. Do you know who Andre Agassi is?
No.
Yep, see? So you're basketball, football, baseball, hockey. So I just know. Do you know who Vijay Singh is? Yeah, see, that's where we are. I get it now. It's becoming more clear for me. Let's quickly get to some real bold predictions. Fire it up. And maybe we'll come back to these because there's no way we're going to get through them all. Real bold predictions where Graham gets to be now you're going to be real tough on this, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Gets to decide whether the takes are actually bold or not, and he decides with a bell and a buzzer. If it's not bold enough, I have to make it more bold on the spot. Real bold predictions. Number 1. We'll do a lot of football today. Drake May, Rookie of the Year. We don't get the bell. We get the burr horn with Graham. I think that's an opportunity pick. He's going to start every game for the Patriots regardless. I'm not sure J.J. McCarthy starts for Minnesota. If Caleb Williams wavers a little bit, I think there's an opportunity there. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be in for a tougher run with that Washington offensive line than you'd think. Drake May, it's an opportunity thing.
Well, even if Drake May does start every game for the New England Patriots, it's going to be really hard for him to lead them to the promised land because
I'm not saying he's going to make a playoffs or anything.
Well, yeah, but if you're going to be Rookie of the Year, you got to put up numbers, and I just feel like
I think that's the thing.
Nothing against Drake May's playing ability. I mean, he's proven that he can be a good football player.
I think he'll run for a decent amount of touchdowns.
What he's walking into will be a difficult situation for him. So, yes, I don't think he's going to end up being Rookie of the Year.
That's a bold prediction. Should we stick with UNC quarterbacks?
Why not?
I think Sam Howell starts games for Seattle in which Geno Smith is healthy.
Hold on. Say it one more time.
So basically, I think Sam Howell starts games for Seattle this year, and the way I'm trying to word it is, and not if Geno Smith gets hurt, then I don't think that's bold that the backup quarterback starts. I think Sam Howell gets maybe it starts off as an injury, maybe Geno Smith gets hurt for 3 weeks, but then Sam Howell continues. There are games where Geno Smith is active, and Sam Howell is the starting quarterback.
No, I don't think that's unrealistic.
You don't think that's bold?
Mm-mm.
All right, then 6 or more games. When as a legit starter, Geno Smith is his backup active on the day. Thank you. Last one here, and we'll do them all football since we don't have a lot of time. Jonathan Brooks leads all rookies in rushing yards. I think the reason why that's bold, he's the highest drafted running back, obviously, for the Panthers. I think the reason why it's bold is because he's coming off the injury. So I don't think they're going to – he might not even play right out the gate. But if he does, I don't think they will give him the full bell cow workload of all the carries. I think they'll mix it up. But I think by week 8 or 9, they'll be depending on him, and I think he'll still end up leading rookies in rushing yards. Now it's time to tell you about what's going on over at Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry. You may be listening. They've got some deals running on engagement rings. This is my game plan for you, fellas. I'm already married. I don't have to run these gameplay playbooks anymore. But if you are thinking of popping the question, say, hey, on the drive with Tim Donnelly, I heard about this Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. There's some awesome watches. They have pre-owned and vintage Rolexes. They have this Omega boutique that is awesome. I want to check out Norcanes. I don't know enough about them, right? All of these watches that Tim's been telling me about, I want to go check them out. Why don't we head to Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh? I want to check out the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. And then while you're there, go, all right, I'm going to look at the watches. Why don't you go check out what else is around the Bailey's Fine Jewelry? If you are at the part of the relationship where you think you are, she'll meander over to the engagement rings at some point in time and then take notes. Notice what she's looking at. Notice what she tries to try on. And then, because there's all these deals going on right now in engagement rings, you circle back a couple days later, you get the ring that she wants. You already know she likes it. You already know it fits. You might even have the people behind the counter help you out a little bit. It's a gameplay here, right? And then on top of that, get yourself a watch because you need to look good too. That's at the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh. When you're there, make sure they know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan. And if you're at that point in your relationship, check out some engagement rings. They'll hook you up. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, starting 5, coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
An orthopedic surgeon makes understanding pain painless.
It's the biggest frustration that patients have.
This is Dr. Pamela Mehta talking about aches with unexpected origins.
I see patients with pain in their knees, their hips, their back. Oftentimes, the pain is actually coming from their feet.
Bet they aren't expecting to hear that.
Those patients are super surprised. They can't believe that the pain in their knee isn't coming from actually inside the knee. But if you think about it, the feet are the base to your whole body.
That's why she suggests personally fit arch supports. Emphasis on the personal fit.
If you get something basing it just on your shoe size, it isn't going to fit you properly.
And if it doesn't fit well, it probably won't work well.
Go get arch supports fitted to you. It's as easy as going into a Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today or just stop by.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet. Choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
The best summer savings for golfers is now at Global Golf in Raleigh. This week only, save up to 60% on all tailor-made pre-owned golf clubs. Global Golf is home to Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf gear. Whether you need some new grips, professional lessons, or wanting to trade in your current clubs, swing by Global Golf at 7320 ACC Boulevard. Don't miss amazing summer sales and more at Global Golf, home to the best deals in golf.
Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, follow Crash Davis and his Durham Bulls story in a new genre. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. The cold front we've been talking about all week has parked right over us, and that has helped develop showers and storms. The potential for flooding exists into the early evening hours, 73 the low, 50% chance for storms for your Saturday, 87 the high.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day down 377 points at 40,287.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Want to remind everybody, we start up the college football season next week from ACC football kickoff. The Adam Gold Show and The Drive, this show, will be live in Charlotte with insight and interviews thanks to Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Sanford. Again, like I've been teasing, we're working already to set up the interviews and everything from Charlotte for ACC kickoff, and I think everyone will be pretty pleased with both the content coming out of Adam's show right before this one and our show. We'll be live there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Graham, you'll be here pushing buttons.
Correct.
We appreciate it, though.
Making sure the ranch stays up and running.
We appreciate it, though. It's time for the starting five. Let's start with number 5. I'm going to try to keep a level head here and tamp down some conspiracy theories. Now, I am traditionally somebody that does not shy away from a good conspiracy theory or two. I don't necessarily believe them, but I like to discuss them. The conspiracy theories are flowing aggressively on ACC internet right now. Sources are not the best. I'm not even going to name drop them because I can't confirm or anything, so I don't want anybody to believe I'm co-opting them or co-signing them. There's 2 specific accounts. They have over 150,000 followers combined that are pumping the internet full of the ACC is on death's doorstep conversations. And I can tell based on how many people have sent me in group chats one of their tweets, or how many people are responding, or how many likes there are on these tweets or message board posts, that people are worried. And I would be too. If there was somebody out there saying, hey, I've talked with people who would know, and this thing that you love is going to be gone in a year, I would be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Basically what I'm learning is nothing goes viral like someone saying the ACC will be on fire by August 15th, which is the day that teams are required to let the ACC know they're leaving the following year. So by August 15th, everything's going to be on fire according to these conspiracy theorists. I just want to, like, in the interest of just letting facts speak for themselves, I've thought very, very hard about the pathways, the mechanisms, the tools that could maybe help Florida State and Clemson make this happen, okay? That can make the ACC be on death's doorstep. And I just want to be very, very clear. Every mechanism, every path towards destruction of the ACC that exists, I think would be monumental. It would be completely unlike anything we've ever seen in sports. The Pac-12 kind of went out easy. I don't see the ACC going out easy. Part of the reason being the grant of rights that the ACC has signed that the Pac-12 just didn't have in their arsenal, okay? So there are only 3 ways I see the ACC collapsing, which if you go on the internet is a foregone conclusion. And that's what I'm just trying to say. Maybe, but that means we're about to see something crazy. The first way would be if over 50% of the league wants out, right? That's kind of like a poison pill built into the league. If over 50% of the league wants to leave the ACC just kind of loses all its power, right? They're up to 17.5 teams. That would be a big, I mean, you need essentially 9 teams to say they want out. There aren't 9 teams in the ACC that are guaranteed of having a Power 4 conference want them if they leave the ACC. So that means some people would say, I want out of the ACC, and they would have knowledge that there's a good chance they're not going to land anywhere better. Pathway 2 to the ACC collapsing, I believe, would be if more than 2 but less than 50% of the league wants to leave, and are willing to pay the $500+ million to leave. Because that's what the exit fee would be, right? $500+ million. We're kind of aware of that. That's what the grant of rights, exit fees, contract signed say. So if, say, Florida State, Clemson, we'll pick a local team, UNC and UVA, are promised by the Big Ten that the Big Ten will help cover their exit fees, and private equity helps them cover the exit fees, and those 4 schools all want to leave, and they all want to pay the exit fee, I think then there would be a mass exodus, there would be panic, and everyone from the ACC would want to leave. ACC would have $2 billion to play with, but still, it would be a very big catastrophic event. And the last would be is if conferences disintegrate as a structure for college football entirely.
And we go to like 2 major or like 4 major divisions.
If they leave the NCAA and do a super conference, or if they abolish, like the ACC abolished divisions, if they abolish conferences entirely and everybody just schedules their own self and sells their own rights. And like it would have to be, then we're talking about restructuring college football from the ground up, which again with contracts can't really happen. Those are the only 3 ways I see the ACC collapsing. So if you see someone on the internet trying to Chicken Little this bad boy, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Don't just ask them, is it going to happen? Because they'll say yes. Ask them how. Ask them how. Because 2 schools leaving is not the death of the ACC. If Clemson and Florida State each pay their $550 million to leave, that's not the end of the ACC. In a weird way, it might make them a little bit stronger. Because they're going to still have their path to the college football playoff, and they're going to have $1 billion to make up the revenue gap with the Big Ten and the SEC with the schools that still remain. Do you know actually I would do if I were the ACC? First team to leave, I'm taking whatever their exit fee is and giving it to Notre Dame to be a full-fledged member.
Yes.
If Florida State says we're paying you your $500 million to leave, I'm looking at Notre Dame and going, is $500 million enough to get you to come join the ACC? And going, ha-ha, how you like that, Florida State? Your money just saved our conference, and we got rid of you. My point of all of this is this. Ask how. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Riley Leonard, former Duke quarterback, current Notre Dame quarterback, talked to the media about just that, the transfer, his situation, and part of it is the irony of 2 Duke, maybe the 2 most important people in the Duke football program a season ago, are facing off against each other in week 1. We're talking about Riley Leonard, the quarterback, Mike Elko, the coach. Riley Leonard now playing for Notre Dame, Mike Elko now coaching Texas A&M. They play first game against each other. This is Riley on that specific situation.
You can't write it up any better. I try not to make it about me versus him, though. I want to make this about Notre Dame and A&M. I will say that we're both very competitive, and we do still have a great relationship, so sorry for anybody who's out there wondering, are they going to create a big story out of this? I wish we could, but we obviously won a lot of games together at Duke, so it'll be good to play him. Not only him, but there are a lot of people on that staff who I'm looking forward to playing against. Gavin Spurrier, one of my best friends on that staff, but it'll be a good time out there in Texas for sure.
It'll be a good time. Unless you get down 14 in the first half, then it's not going to be a good time. Unless Mike Elko is over there letting everybody know all of the holes and flaws in your game. Not to mention Riley Leonard is coming back after some surgeries, and that'll be his first game out there playing since those surgeries. Once again, here's former Duke quarterback Riley Leonard on being ready for the season.
3 off-season surgeries, so I'm proud of it. Setting records is something I'm proud of. I mean, I've recovered from them, and I'm 100% at this point, so I'll let everybody know. I had 3 surgeries this offseason. It was a long battle, but we're back. And this summer's been really big for me to get back competing with the guys. In the offseason, my priority was, hey, how can I build a relationship with them off the field? But at some point, you got to come back and prove yourself on the field. So that was the objective this summer, and I think I've proven to everybody that, I'm back like I never left.
Why do I feel like he wanted like a pat on the back? Like, I'm big enough to tell you I had 3 surgeries this offseason.
Do I even want to say that's bold, or is that just a reflection of where he's at mentally going into this new season, this new part of his career, playing in college football.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think surgeries and rehab just take up so much of your time. It's hard to think about anything else until you get out there on the field and really show everybody what you can do. Riley Leonard, it's going to be weird to see him at Notre Dame. I'm just going to call it like I see it. It was weird to see Sam Hartman last year. It's going to be weird to see Riley Leonard at Notre Dame. Actually, this is about the time last year. Because there was a lot of hype around Riley Leonard coming into last season at Duke. You brought it up. He had the 33 touchdowns. His stats going into last season, the previous year, were almost identical to Jordan Travis, the quarterback for Florida State that led Florida State, obviously, until he got hurt on that awesome undefeated run. I remember there being a lot of hype about Riley Leonard. At ACC kickoff, which takes place next week, and we're going to be there, I remember noticing Riley was one of the guys. When Dabo Sweeney walked in, when Drake May walked in, there are a few guys when they walk in, they just kind of command, there's a presence to them, right? Everybody's head turned. I remember going, wow, I wasn't expecting it. Riley Leonard is one of those guys. He walked in and everybody kind of took notice, which was a big moment. Like, as a Duke quarterback commanding an ACC room. At Notre Dame, that's not going to be as easy, right? They're used to seeing guys that are pretty darn good with pretty high potential.
I mean, what he was able to do in his 2022 season, as you mentioned, the 32 touchdown season, then up into that Notre Dame game where he helped Duke get to their highest ranking in college football in a very long time, it makes me wonder if he had never suffered that ankle injury, was he on the route to put himself in a conversation to be in the Heisman conversation?
Heisman, interesting. He wasn't throwing enough touchdowns. And he dealt with a couple injuries early on. But he wasn't throwing enough touchdowns, I think, for any of that. I think he finished the season with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, which I think he's going to have to work on at Notre Dame, right? He's going to have to be a better thrower. But when he does start improvising with his legs, he's a pretty special athlete. Don't make me go get the highlights of Riley Leonard dunking in high school. We only saw him 6 times a game every game last year.
Or that crazy run he had against Clemson in the first game of the season that pretty much put the nail in the coffin for that game.
That was a fun one. That was number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Speaking of basketball, Kevin Keatts, head coach of NC State men's basketball, after their run to the Final Four this past year, spoke to the media, part of his summer press conference. And he was asked what has changed for the program since last year. This was his answer.
Well, I don't think the overall process has changed for us. I mean, I think everybody is paying attention more to what we're doing. If you look at us, the way we played, I've always been known as a guy who is a guards coach, and guards get to have a chance to have a lot of freedom. But now post guys are looking at me. I mean, DJ Burns changed the way Kevin Keatts coach. I threw the ball inside so many times, and I think from a recruiting standpoint, we're still recruiting the same guys that we typically recruit. It's a little bit different. If this run was 5 years ago, you would say, all right, maybe you're seeing an uptick in maybe top 5 players and all that other stuff. Everything still goes back now to more NIL than anything.
I hate that. You have a Final Four magic run, and it still comes back to NIL.
Yeah, like he was even joking around with some of the press guys yesterday. There was somebody that asked the question. He said, first things first, I want to thank you for coming in here wearing a KC Morcell shirt. I need to see some more of you guys wearing DJ Burns, Jaden Taylor shirts.
Maybe that's the best way to look at it, is there's just a middleman now, right? Because it used to be you make a Final Four, now you can recruit your tail off because everybody's excited to go to a program that can make a Final Four, right? You build off of that success to go recruit. But I guess what it is now is you go to a Final Four, that excitement comes from fans and donors and boosters to donate to a collective and to buy merch. So now you have more NIL money to go recruit well. So it's still the buzz that's leading to better recruits. It's just you need the buzz to convert into cash to then go to recruiting.
Well, I think college basketball is just so much a revolving door that unless you're like a UConn or a Dan Hurley and you're getting it done year after year, it's either guys saying, all right, a Final Four appearance was great, but I want to go somewhere that can actually, win a national championship. Or it's guys that are saying, hey, I want to be with a team with NC State that can get back to a Final Four run. I want to help contribute to that next year. It's just you don't really get to ride the high too much of making it to a Final Four because, like you said, college basketball is a
366 on a leap year.
Day sport, or 365 days. That's all you got to think about, and so that's what we're seeing. And credit to what NC State was able to do, but you can't harp on it too much longer.
So Keatts mentioned there that it may not have affected recruiting as much as you think. It's still about NIL. So the next question might be, well, how did it affect the players that are still in the program? The players, the Ben Middlebrooks, the Jaden Taylors, the guys that are still around, Dennis Parker Jr., the guys that are still around that were a part of that run. Here's Kevin Keatts on the returning players.
They have swag, and so we've put them against the the new guys a few times, and the difference in it, the new guys are so talented. But here's the thing, they never played together. Those guys have swag. Like Michael's running around, he's making all type of shots. Ben's picking and popping. Dennis Parker, who didn't get a chance because he was under the weather playing in that situation, but watching it and understanding how important it was and how we look, those guys are playing at a high level right now. And the way we keep it is the other guys have to follow what they're doing. And it's great, in a world where you don't have many guys that's returning. I got 5 guys that I can roll out there that have been a part of an ACC championship and a Final Four run, and I think that's helping the new guys.
Do you know what they need to make sure it doesn't happen?
What's that?
A divide between the guys that were there and the guys that weren't.
I've thought about that.
If you have somebody constantly telling you, this is how we do it to make a Final Four. We made a Final Four. This is what you have to do.
Hey, we listened to Moneybag Yo before every basketball game. We did it last year. All right, you can't play nothing else on the boombox.
This is what we did. This is how you get to a Final Four. Like, that gets frustrating. And actually, I go back to, again, not ACC kickoff, but ACC tip-off last year when we talked with Casey Morcell, who was one of the leaders of that team that made the Final Four. And he said he took it upon himself to be kind of the guy that made sure it wasn't the new guys versus the old guys. He was like, when we had everybody over the house, we had everybody over the house. When we were playing pickup, we had everybody playing pickup. He took it upon himself as a leader to blur those divides and make sure everybody recognized they're one team. Somebody's going to have to do that this year.
Well, one thing that I do find encouraging is that Kevin Keatts talked about one of the vocal leaders this year, a guy that's taken on a major leadership role that was a part of that Final Four run team last year is Michael O'Connell.
Yep, and he's back.
He said Michael O'Connell's speaking up a lot more in practice. He said it's even funny, like during the NCAA tournament run, it got to a point where somebody would start speaking in the locker room. Kevin Keatts had to say, who is that? Is that Michael? And I mean, hell, after what he did in that game against Virginia where he essentially saved NC State's season, he has every right to be the vocal leader.
Essentially, he saved NC State.
Yeah, he has every right to be puffing his chest out a little bit and kind of taking command of the room with these new guys.
And having a little bit of swag, having a little bit of confidence. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2. Listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. Current leaderboard coming up here, presented by McConnell Golf. I got to bring it back up. The Open Championship leaderboard. Shane Lowry, 7 under par. He was 2 under on the day. He is in first place, 2 strokes clear of everybody. A tie for second between Daniel Brown and Justin Rose, a couple of Englishmen. We brought it up. We brought it up yesterday. Daniel Brown is sticking with some of the best golfers in the world, and he has not been in that mix very often in his career. He's a professional golfer, don't get me wrong. But when you look at the top 10, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, Jason Day, Scotty Scheffler, Billy Horschel, Justin Rose, Shane Lowry, most of those guys are major winners. All of them have won big tournaments, and all of them have won massive amounts of money and fame. And then there's Daniel Brown tied for second, 3 strokes better than everybody other than Shane Lowry and Justin Rose. And today, the wheels didn't fall off, right? I think that's important. He didn't play as well as he did yesterday, right? He's 5 under par, was +1 on the day, so he was 6 under par yesterday. But on a day when only 17 golfers in the entire field were under par, he played +1 golf. He rocked the vest. I mean, I like the reason why I say he rocked the vest. I genuinely wonder if a player like Daniel Brown isn't thinking of like oh, I should wear something cool now because everybody's going to be watching me.
Yeah, I'm leading right now.
Like, if I was tied for 37th, I'd wear the vest because that's what so-and-so wanted me to wear. But now, like, these pictures are going to follow me forever. I'm in the final pairing of an Open Championship with Shane Lowry. Does he, like, run to whatever the Scottish version of Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy Sports is and find new stuff so he looks cool? Like, how much do you overthink it? It's crazy. This dude is playing with the best golfers in the world and hanging tough. Could change his entire career based on how he plays this weekend.
What was it you said yesterday? Golf is not about the 100 yards in between the holes. It's about the...
I mean, I'm not the first to say it, but it's the cliche, right? Golf is played over hundreds and hundreds of yards, but the most important is the 6 inches between your ears. And Daniel Brown handled it today, at least today. As far as other notables, tied for 13th at +1 on the tournament, there's Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, John Rahm, so a ton of studs, 8 strokes off the lead, but less off of like third. Elsewhere, as far as the maker missing the cut, Matt Fitzpatrick just barely made the cut. Max Homa holed out a 35-foot putt to make the cut on 18. Missed cuts, there's some doozies here. Tommy Fleetwood misses the cut. Bryson DeChambeau misses the cut. Louis Oosthuizen misses the cut. Will Zalatoris misses the cut. Akshay Bhatia, local guy, Wake Forest resident, missed the cut by 1. Cam Smith, Rory McIlroy, couple of missed cuts. Tom Kim missed the cut. Tiger Woods missed the cut. Sahith Theegala missed the cut. Wyndham Clark missed the cut. Course, if it's players versus course is winning. That's number 2 of the starting 5. Let's get to number 1. This is just an update on something we were talking about yesterday, which is questioning maybe Dave Canales' ever-going optimism, never-ending optimism, better way to say that. One of the concerns I had with kind of Dave Canales' leadership style, after watching all the behind-the-scenes videos, after all of the interviews, the blueprint videos, and everything else, introductory press conferences, is this guy's optimism going to keep up when they have a 3-turnover game to lose a tough one on the road for their 3rd straight loss? Was he still going to be able to keep it up? We've heard from former players in Seattle and Tampa, where the last 2 places he's coached, in the last couple of days, that basically say, it was Russell Okung for Seattle, Baker Mayfield for Tampa, that they had similar questions early on in their relationship with Dave Canales, and they were proving completely and totally unwarranted concerns. I like that. Right, because I like that I'm not crazy having those concerns, but I also like that they've had those concerns alleviated. What they basically said was Dave Canales is the same wildly optimistic guy, the same, counting his lucky stars that he gets to go to practice every single day, win, lose, or draw, nice weather, bad weather, rainy, cold, Week 1, Week 2, Week 8, Week 16, bye week, off season. That guy is the same overly optimistic guy, which gives me faith that his leadership style can work. I said it earlier. It might be a little exhausting if he's like your buddy. I don't know. Haven't hung out with him socially. But I think that's a good quality to have in a coach. It's very Pete Carroll-like, and Pete Carroll's had a lot of success. So maybe he's not doing a Pete Carroll impression. Maybe he and Pete Carroll just happen to end up coaching together and they have very similar outlooks on their careers. Which, by the way, we can all probably take some of that, right? At least us, Graham. We have cool jobs. We should be probably more excited to do it, Not like, gosh, nothing in sports has happened. Let's go make a show.
Yeah, or even when people try to call into the show to tell us how much we suck.
Hey, we still got pretty cool jobs. Just
not naming any names, but you know who you are. We just got on to the next segment.
Which, by the way, Dave Canales better get used to that too, because he's a college or a head football coach in the NFL, and people are going to tell him they're not very good.
And for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, we need to get some contestants for the numbers game. Speaking of callers, we need you to call in. We have tickets to see the Help From My Friends tour, Summer 2024, with Switchfoot, Blue October, and Matt Nathanson. They are coming to Red Hat Amphitheater on July 25th. If you want to win a pair of tickets, you have to play the numbers game. If you want to play the numbers game, you have to call in right now. We need 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
Golf's final major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we cover the Open Championship from Royal Troon. Find out if Brian Harmon can go back-to-back or if a new champion emerges. Depend on us for constant leaderboard updates and every big moment through the presentation of the Claret Jug. Coverage of the Open Championship on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by McConnell Golf with 16 top-ranked courses, the best private club value from the mountains to the coast.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Drive into summer with a new Honda. Make an impression with the unmistakable style of the HR-V or turn heads in the sporty Civic. From Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2025 HR-V or at 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic.
Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R based on 2024 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake, just tooling around. All available with installation from sound station and security with 2 locations. Downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
As we continue to get more and more behind-the-scenes info on how the trades happened this offseason for the Panthers, it becomes more and more obvious they may have gotten swindled in the Brian Burns trade, which is a problem when you consider he was their biggest trade asset that they could turn into value. So if the Giants got the best of him, it's going to be all about finding a way to get it back.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. For the second time this week, we have an open line still available. So if you want to get into the numbers game, here's your opportunity. You may have thought you missed out. No, call in right now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. If you want to win a pair of tickets to see the Help from My Friends Tour Summer 2024 with Switchfoot, Blue October, and Matt Nathanson, coming to Red Hat Amphitheater on July 25th. Or if you just want to get your competitive juices flowing on a Friday at about 5:30, you can try to get in here and play the numbers game against Tremari. We know Tremari in Durham, who is on line 1, is going to be in the mix. So if you want to play Tremari, 919-860-5326. Tremari, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. As we wait for the next contestant to connect up, you don't even have to answer a question to go first. You just get to go first, all right?
Oh, nice.
So the categories you get to choose from are NFL, all the Johns, all players whose first name is John or Johnny. NFL, the Brady Men. These are all players who share a first name with one of the Brady Bunch. NBA, current players only, or NHL, Canes and Whalers only?
Let's go NBA current players.
All right, NBA, current players only. I will give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, let's go.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Marvin Bagley III, Washington Wizards.
Ooh, 35.
Correct. De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento Kings.
De'Aaron Fox, 2.
Incorrect. Bradley Beal, Phoenix Suns.
3.
Correct. Aaron Gordon, Denver Nuggets.
0.
Incorrect. De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento Kings.
5.
Correct. Jordan Clarkson, Utah Jazz.
27.
Incorrect. Aaron Gordon, Denver Nuggets.
0.
Incorrect. Jordan Clarkson, Utah Jazz. Aaron Gordon with the Nuggets wears 50. That's such an ugly number, but he wears 50. And ironically, because you gave 2 zeros for Aaron Gordon, Jordan Clarkson with the Utah Jazz wore 00.
I respect Tremari for getting that specific for saying double zero.
00 and then 0. But no, Aaron Gordon wore 50. Jordan Clarkson wore number 00. But you did get 3, so that's a solid number. Sit on the line. We'll see if it holds up.
All right, sounds good.
And while you were playing, we hooked up Matt from Garner on the line. So, Matt, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, you are thrown right into the deep end. Are you ready to roll?
Yes, I am. I missed the categories.
That's fine. I'll read them to you right here. We have NFL, all the Johns. These are all players named John or Johnny. We have NFL, the Brady Men. These are all players whose first name is shared with someone on the Brady Bunch. And we have NHL, Canes and Whalers only.
Let's do the first NFL one.
All right, NFL, all the Johns. These are all players named John or Johnny. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
I'm ready to go.
All right, you need to get 4 for the win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. John Elway, Denver Broncos.
7.
Correct. John Riggins, Washington Redskins.
44.
Correct. Johnny Hecker, Carolina Panthers.
12.
Incorrect. John Abraham, Atlanta Falcons.
54.
Incorrect. Johnny Hecker, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Jonathan Ogden, Baltimore Ravens.
72.
Incorrect. John Abraham, Atlanta Falcons.
47.
Incorrect. Johnny Hecker, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Incorrect. Jonathan Ogden, Baltimore Ravens.
I
thought you had a chance. You were quick with the first 2.
Yeah.
Johnny Hecker with the Panthers, the punter, number 10. John Abraham with the Falcons, double nickels, 55. And Jonathan Ogden, the big guy for the Baltimore Ravens, the Hall of Famer, number 75. I feel like everyone that's like 6'7", 340 is just number 75 by default. Appreciate you for playing, Matt. Thank you for jumping right on and getting right to it. But that means Tremari and Durham, you are the winner. Congratulations, Tremari.
Nice.
You are the winner. You get the tickets to the Help from My Friends Tour 2024 with Switchfoot, Blue October, and Matt Nathanson coming to Red Hat Amphitheater on July 25th.
Sounds good.
All right, sit on the line, and Graham will get the info he needs from you to make sure you get the tickets. That one was, I would say, a solid Friday. For something about Fridays, I think everybody turns their brain off once you hit 5 o'clock on a Friday. We very rarely have a 5 for a 5, like a perfect score on a Friday. We did have a perfect score this week, though. So I'm still riding high off that, and we had a solid 3 gets the win. I said this before, and maybe it's just me. I get more competitive about this than I think the contestants sometimes. Maybe that's something I got to look into myself. But I'm sitting here going, like, come on. They're more relaxed. By the way, want to remind everybody, you can win your weight in meat. Win Your Weight in Meat is back on Monday, this Monday, like the next show we have. You can text PORK to 919-860-5326 to enter for a chance to be one of our Win Your Weight in Meat finalists. Through August 2nd, we will select 10 people to come on air and share their weight. And on August 5th, we will randomly select one lucky winner from our 10 daily finalists. Our grand prize winner scores their weight in meat, served up by the North Carolina Pork Council and the dedicated team of farmers that put bacon and barbecue on your plate. Learn more at ncpork.org. Win your weight in meat. I mean, think of all the grilling. Think of all the meals. Win your weight in meat. I'm looking forward to helping you all participate in that particular opportunity. But again, that all starts up on Monday. So you're going to have to be tuned in to the show on Monday to really have a shot at it. Also, next week, Monday we'll be here in studio. Starting Tuesday, we'll be out at the ACC kickoff, which means we'll be talking with players from all of the ACC football teams, coaches, as they get ready for the season. We start up the college football season next week from ACC football kickoff. The Adam Gold Show, as well as this one, The Drive, will be live in Charlotte with insight and interviews, thanks to Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Sanford. I think that's all the reminders for now, so we'll take a break. When we come back, I remind you that we have to make our picks for the weekend. Graham will line them up. We'll make our picks, talk it out, coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
A horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff. Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next? Ballroom dancing. I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Diamonds Direct's summer sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off, plus $100 off store-wide. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their newest designs. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more, 20% off. Now to July 21st. Ends this Sunday at 5 p.m. Details at DiamondsDirect.com.
Check out the Chevy Summer Drive event at Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Score up to 12% off the MSRP on a brand new 2024 Silverado 1500 with a Wilkinson discount. Plus a trade-in bonus on eligible vehicles 2010 or newer. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Sanford. One of the only dealerships with the best of Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, and GMC under one roof. Visit us in person today or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
Batter up. Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Duke University's Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, the film's original screenwriter Ron Shelton has adapted the story for the musical, so you can follow Crash Davis's Durham Bulls story and his romantic love triangle in a new genre. the perfect blend of comedy, drama, and steamy romance. Get your tickets for Bull Durham, a new musical, today. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
It's hot out there, and your inefficient windows mean high utility bills all year long. Window Nation sells some of the most energy-efficient windows you can buy and was recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows free, plus 0 down and no interest or payments for 2 years. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule an in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Third Eye Blind. And Yellow Card. Summer Gods Tour 2024 with special guest Arizona Coastal Credit Union Music Park Raleigh, July 21st. Third Eye Blind with Yellow Card and special guest Arizona live in Raleigh. Get tickets now at livenation.com, part of the Mattress Warehouse concert series.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Welcome to Staples. My son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and comp books.
With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for school.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez.
Can we get a card, please?
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 45 cents each at Staples. Ends 9/14, in-store only, limit 30. Prices valid in select stores. Visit staples.com/stores/school deals.
Move your sports day forward.
This is not summer vacation. If you're out there reading as much as you possibly can about hockey and the Carolina Hurricanes and whatnot, this and the NHL, this is not summer vacation. There are teams that are having to put their cases together right now to figure out how much they can re-sign players. There are still free agents out there being re-signed.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Vibes on a Friday. Again, I didn't even know Graham was. Are you a country music guy?
I dabble in it from time to time.
Every time I think I got you figured out. It's time to make our picks. Last thing we do every week here on the Drive with Tim Donnelly is we look at what's coming up and we make our picks. We talk it out. We hash it out as a unit and we figure out what we're thinking. Graham, what are we picking today?
So the first things first, I think the obvious thing that we need to pick or make our picks for is an Open Championship. Who do you got winning?
I'm going to go with I don't want to say this because I think it's boring, but I think Scotty Scheffler makes the comeback.
It's hard to go against that. It's hard to bet against Scotty Scheffler.
That's what I'm saying. It's boring. I mean, he is, like 5 strokes off the lead, so it'll be kind of fireworks. I just think he's the best golfer.
-1 right now.
So he's 6 strokes off the lead. So maybe it is a little bit bold. I just think he's kind of playing, stress-free golf, and him playing stress-free golf usually leads to a massive move on one of these days. So I guess I'll go Scotty. But of the top 3, I could easily see Shane Lowry hanging on. I would love to see Justin Rose get another major. And obviously, if Danny Brown, as you called him earlier, gets it done, it'll be one of the greatest stories in major championship history. So there's a bunch of different options.
From Mr. Irrelevant to relevant, I'm going with my boy Danny Brown. Come on, Daniel.
DB
+1 right now.
Well, there is actually Todd Hamilton is one of my favorite golfers.
Excuse me, -5, sorry.
Todd Hamilton is one of my favorite golfers. If you go look up Todd Hamilton's finishes in majors, it is cut, 45th, cut, 57th, cut, 38th, cut, 1. He won the British Open in 2004, and I don't think he was in contention. Like there is some precedent for somebody just catching ridiculous fire at a major and winning, even if you definitely didn't see it coming. So maybe Danny Brown can be the next Todd Hamilton.
Okay, so this is Make Our Picks, so we're supposed to pick games and make our predictions for them. We are in that time of the year now where there is MLB going on, but I'm not watching a total amount of MLB right now.
Bring MLB to
All-Star
Raleigh.
Game. Yeah, that's the
watch.
call to action right there. So I guess we could talk about the USA basketball showcase as they gear up for the Paris Olympics. USA takes on South Sudan tomorrow. Who's your pick? I mean, it's hard to go against the
United States
great country that we
is going to
live
win
in.
by a bunch. The things to look for in this game are, A, does Steph Curry continue shooting like he did last game?
Yep.
Because the shorter three-point line, the United States should have just a massive three-point shooting advantage over everyone. I think the only kind of tweaking that needs to happen is, and this is weird, the shot that is the three-point line in the international game is a bad shot in the NBA. Because if you're going to shoot from that far, you might as well shoot from three and get the extra point, right? So that's where most guys are doing their step backs. If they can get used to it, if Steph can get used to it, shooting, whatever it is, 2 feet closer, they should have a massive advantage there. It should be huge. So does Steph and does the USA as a whole, shoot well from three? And then secondly, I guess Kevin Durant might play against South Sudan.
Yeah.
He's been held out with a calf strain. If he plays, then that is Team USA. That's the team we're sending to the Olympics. So
there's a final piece of your core right there.
Yeah, you want to get him obviously reps with everybody to get the chemistry down, but you don't want to risk any further injury. So those would be the two things I'm looking for. Other than that, guess what? Like LeBron James and Steph Curry and Joel Embiid and Jason Tatum, they're good at basketball. The United States should be able to out-talent most teams.
I don't know how much NBA Summer League you've been watching, but I'm watching very little. So I thought it'd be fun just to look at these NBA Summer League games and make our picks, starting with the Portland Trailblazers and the Charlotte Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets. The Trailblazers, I believe, are going to be actively tanking this year again. They're flirting with Pistons. The Pistons have gotten really messed over. The Pistons have been really, really bad, but they keep getting the 5th overall pick instead of the 1st overall pick. I think the Blazers are going to try to be not great for the next 2 or 3 years. So they got a lot of prospects. The Hornets.
And the Hornets are going to try to be amazing. They're going for the NBA Finals this year, Tim. Come on.
I don't know about that, but I do know Brandon Miller has been playing in the Summer League. Scoot Henderson, who was actually not as good as Brandon Miller as a rookie, is not playing for the Blazers. So I think Brandon Miller's best player on the court. If he plays, they win.
Show me something, Charlotte. I'm taking the Hornets. Go North Carolina. All right. A matchup of 3-0 in the NBA Summer League versus 0-3. Golden State Warriors versus the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, you got to take – is OKC 0-3?
Yes, you got to take OKC.
Wow. I mean, maybe it's just that they've had so many good prospects for so long. Maybe they finally – because obviously they're one of the best teams in the NBA. Maybe finally their farm system is dried out because everybody's gone up to the pros. I'm surprised they don't just have they have so many first picks. I mean, I don't pick against 3-0 teams that are up against 0-3 teams. So give me the Warriors, but I am surprised by that. OKC has always been the team that has a bunch of good young prospects they have to develop. Maybe now they just have a bunch of good young players that are in the NBA.
Hey, it can't get any worse than it is right now in the NBA Summer League. All right, 0-3. They get a win tonight against the Golden State Warriors.
There was that one thing for a while where the best NFL teams had the best NFL seasons had always come off of 1-3 preseasons. So maybe there's something to be said for if your summer league stinks, your regular season's awesome.
Where have I seen this story before? An 0-3 Dallas Mavericks team taking on the Boston Celtics.
I love that we're picking summer league. Boston, because they got good vibes.
I mean, yeah, they're coming off in the NBA Finals.
Is Derek Lively playing for Dallas? If he is, then give me Dallas. I think teams are much. We're seeing DJ Burns play a lot. Well, I saw Mo Diarra had a good game in one of his. I believe he plays with the Lakers. His summer league debut. The NBA is going more and more and more towards using summer league to decide on what fringe players are going to make their G League team, or is there any they're really evaluating are we going to continue to invest anything in these players? rather than.
Are we going to try to build around Irving, Doncic?
It used to be much more of you just need your young guys to get reps. So there'd be guys that play a lot of minutes in the NBA. Like Brandon Miller playing in the summer league used to be assumed. Now it's like, wow, Brandon Miller's playing in the summer league. It's a different beast. So like picking these games is the only reason I'm saying it's tough to pick them is because like the young guys that are on the NBA roster that we know in a lot of cases aren't even playing. It's so much about the guys like the DJ Horns, the DJ Burns, the Cormac Ryans, right? These guys that are really fighting for their spot even on a G League team that are going to be getting their minutes.
Screw it, let's talk MLB. A battle of Pennsylvania tonight. Philadelphia Phillies versus the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I mean, it's got to be the Phillies, right? They just have so much
62 and 34 overall versus a 48 and 48 Pittsburgh Pirates.
A couple of them just had
unless Paul Skeens is throwing a shutout and they just get
is Skeens on the mound?
A sack, but I have no idea.
I'll look it up because if Skeens on the mound, we're going to talk about it.
No, he is not. It's right, Martin Perez.
Then yeah, no. And Aaron Nola's on the mound for the Phillies. Phillies going to win this game. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner. Alex Boehm. They just had a really good All-Star week. Good vibes. Go ahead and put this one in the. Did you bring this game up on purpose for a joke reason?
No, I didn't.
Okay. If you don't like humor that would make stereotypical 8-year-old boys laugh, cover your ears for a minute. Phillies Pittsburgh it's the poop game. If you ever look at the bottom of the scoring bug, like when you watch a game, it has the team's logo, team score, like home team's logo, home team's score, away team's score, away team's logo. So to start the game, it is going to be a P for the Phillies because their logo is a P, 0 because nobody scored, 0 because nobody scored, P for the Pirates logo. Thus, it's going to spell out poop. That's just something that I guess if you're around sports enough, you notice those dumb things.
That made me chuckle. Then again, maybe I have the humor of an 8-year-old.
Again,
I might also have the sports takes of an 8-year-old.
If you really want to make like your 8-year-old laugh, just be like, oh, let's watch a game. And they're like, no, I don't want to. Put on that game and then just make a joke.
Your New York Mets are taking on the Miami Marlins tonight at 7:10. Your Mets currently 49 and 46 versus a whopping 33 and 63 overall Marlins.
My New York
Fish
Mets,
down.
Adam Gold's New York Mets, something about hosts on this roster.
Grimace's New York Mets.
Yeah, I mean, he changed.
What's the Grimace?
changed
The Grimace trend has faded away now.
I think the Mets win just because the Marlins stink. I actually do know that division a bit. The Marlins are not very good. I don't think the Mets are world beaters. I think that run that everyone went on, the whole Grimace run, everyone got way too excited. But yeah, I think the Marlins are worse. So give me the Mets to win. And let me see who's on the mound. Give me the Mets.
All right, there you go. Tampa Bay versus the New York Yankees. I mean, the Rays are getting ready to have a brand new baseball stadium. Does that motivate them to start playing a little bit better?
Maybe. A bunch of Bulls are going to get called up to the bigs. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. But don't worry, Overdrive is coming up next. Dave Canales, is he overly optimistic? We answered that question, and we heard from one of his we read a statement from one of his former players talking about that overly optimistic attitude and if it's real. So that's going to start off Overdrive. We'll talk Riley Leonard a little bit later on. We encourage all of you to hang around. I encourage all of you more to listen to us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Check us out. If you missed anything, there's a lot of stuff up there, a lot of cool content coming your way, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Thank you to Graham for keeping us up and running the last couple of days. Dennis will be back on Monday. I'll be back on Monday at 3. Until then, stick around for Overdrive and have a great weekend, everybody.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Burgers, donuts is the bun.
It is outstanding because you got a little bit of the sweet, you got the savory. Now listen, you eat that whole thing and you're out for the entire day. Don't expect to be doing a lot after that. Your heart rate is going to go up if you eat that thing, but it is delicious.
It's worth the calories, right?
It is.
It sounds amazing.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's bow time.
Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Planning an engagement? Now's the time. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's spectacular Engagement Ring Blowout. 3 days only. Engagement rings, loose diamonds, and wedding bands. Up to 60% off. You'll be blown away by the huge selection of diamond sizes and engagement ring styles near cost, at cost, even below cost. Bailey's Engagement Ring Blowout. July 25th through 27th in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the